Okay, everybody, thank you for joining us once again for another episode of the Average Overlanders podcast. I'm Jared.
And I'm Ben.
And this week we have with us Jonathan Elkins, who is, I don't know, how do we want to...
He drives big trucks.
I mean, I just want to say, like, 'cause everybody's, like, man, you think you're cool because you got 35s on your truck.
Yeah, we okay, so we had this whole thing where a friend of mine had said, don't call it a rig unless it has at least 35s on it, right? And you definitely have above 35s.
What size tires are you rolling?
66-inch.
What you got now?
You can call it a rig. It's approved.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming out, man.
Good. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah. I met you at we were at Overland. What is it like?
It was like an OVS thing, right?
It was Overland, like not Overland Expo. It was like Overland Power Sport
Adventure. They're kind of throwing it all together. Yeah.
Pomona and stuff. And like I was hanging out at Lobo Trailers, and just you came by and we started talking about lights.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, we just start talking about everything. So yeah.
And now he's on the podcast.
And now you're on the podcast. So yeah, that was rad. It was
Funny
cool.
how that works out.
Right. You never know who you're gonna meet, man. And it was funny too, because like I didn't know anything about you. We were just talking. We just had a good time talking. And then I saw you on Instagram. I'm like, holy shit. This dude drives monster trucks, dude. This is fucking rad.
66-inch tires, man.
I try to stay low key and stay humble. So
Yeah, that's right.
I just don't throw it out there.
Yeah.
Nah, that's good.
No, that's cool. Yeah, so like is there one particular truck you're driving or
Right now I'm driving for Hot Wheels. I was driving a truck called Bone Shaker,
okay.
which is one of the original Hot Wheels from 1968.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That's why I know the name. Yeah, all right.
It's got the skull in the front.
Yeah, I was gonna say the skull.
On the grill. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a tour, European tour last year driving that truck. And then I just got a call 2 days ago that I'll be here on the West Coast in the US driving another truck for them called Race Ace.
Race Ace. Okay.
Yep.
Are you going to be gonna be local to here?
Yeah, they're all arena shows. So like my close shows will be the Toyota Center in Ontario, California, the Pachanga Arena down in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
And then I guess there's an arena in Coachella that I've never heard of.
Oh.
So I'll be there. So all West Coast
there either.
Yeah, all West Coast, including Las Vegas and going up through Oregon and all that.
I'm gonna have to. I've never taken as a kid. I always went to monster truck shows and stuff like that. Monster Jam, Sunday, and all that. But like, I've never taken my daughter. She's 10, and I think she would get a kick out of it.
Yeah,
It's loud, but yeah.
I had time with Monster Jam.
Yeah.
But which was more kind of X Games, go big.
Right.
But with Hot Wheels, it's more about the kids.
Yeah.
And kind of bringing the old school vibe of actually having like a halftime show. And
really?
Yeah. And so just instead of just having someone go out there and backflip it and go big.
Yeah. Trying to break it.
To break it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't, from a business standpoint, they're not making money.
I never understood that. I'm like, yeah, he's like, I have to break it. And like, but that's costing you money. It can't be cheap.
Well, and if you notice too, there's no cars. Like monster trucks.
Oh, that's right. It used to be all about crushing the cars.
Yeah. And monster trucks it's all about crushing the cars. And Monster Jam.
They don't do that anymore?
No, they don't. For some reasons, I won't share why, but I will say that tire quality is not there. But with Hot Wheels, man, it's all cars. It's no dirt. I mean, I can get that thing straight up and down within hitting the first car.
Wow.
And so inside the truck, it's see-through underneath you, right?
Correct.
That's how you're able to see kind of where you're going.
It's all clear Lexan.
Okay.
So like unless I'm 20 feet or closer to an object, I completely look where my feet are to see where I'm going.
Really? That's got to be a trip to get used to that, driving like that. Just you sit up. How high up do you sit?
The trucks are 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
So I'm about at 8.5 feet high.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing a wheelie, when I jump, I can either look through the windshield and see the Jumbotron or look through my feet and actually see where I'm going.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a trip. It's kind of like the sand cars, because like out in the Glamis and stuff, same thing. They're doing wheelies in the sand cars, and I remember a lot of them had the Lexan, bottom and stuff like that, so you could kind of see out the front, the wheel well area or the firewall or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because all the motors in the back on the sand cars.
Yeah. Get that that wheelie action. So yeah.
And then another thing that the overland rigs don't have yet is I have rear steer.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Yeah, you can do those quick little spins and
Yep.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Not to go back to the tuner world, but
Yeah.
the old school like 89, 88 Preludes
just
had
kidding.
the 4-wheel steering.
Yeah.
That was so cool, man.
Yeah, I dated a girl. We went to prom and she had one of those, and yeah, I got to drive it. It was fun.
Yeah, I just sold the wheel spacers on my Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
And I sold to a guy with an 89 Prelude, and he rolls up, and I was like, oh, it was a yellow one.
Oh.
And then he pulls away, and I see his wheels go like this in the rear. I was like,
Do that
oh
little
man, that is
crab
so
walk. Yeah.
so trick.
Well,
yeah.
they do that like on a lot of the rock crawlers nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
that's big.
Like the buggies, yeah.
Yeah, the rock buggies and stuff. Like
Yeah, high school, I drove a lowered Ford Ranger, and I want to say we all went the lowering route because you could do it so cheap
yeah,
or
just
free.
cutting springs. And
Yep. Now, when it comes to lifting stuff, it's just all money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big money.
Oh,
yeah.
big money. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man, I can't afford that.
No. Yeah, like how? Yeah, because like the shocks, just the shocks alone got to be freaking like just buying like coilovers for like a Ford Ranger. They're like $800 a piece. I can't imagine like. I would remember I was fitting like trying to stuff like 16s or 18s in there. Some bypass shocks. Those things. What's the length on a shock for like a monster truck? Like
32 in the front, 26 in the back.
yeah, that's crazy.
And it doesn't ride like a Cadillac. I can tell you that right now.
Real springy.
Stiff.
Yeah, it's kind of one little bounce and then it absorbs it. But my L1, L2, L3 are worn down 50%.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I've been driving for just a little over 10 years now.
Wow. What got you into that?
Long story, medium, because I can't keep it short. But
Yeah.
so
We got time.
I
Yeah.
always say long story long.
yeah, I know. So I'm gonna take it back to the mid '80s. So me and my dad,
all right.
have a leaf spring suspension shop, and I'm fourth generation.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
So back in the '80s, when Bigfoot was being built, a guy approached my dad and was like, "Hey, I want to build one of these." Well, they're leaf springs, right? So my dad built the truck, and then took the leftover parts that he didn't use on that build and he built a mud truck. So they kind of teamed up and did mud trucks and monster trucks, like how it used to be at LA Coliseum and Jack Murphy Stadium and all that. So I kind of grew up around it. Well, my professional racing career started early 2000s. And I started racing like tough truck stuff with a little
Oh yeah.
Volkswagen Bug. Well, my dream since I was 5 or 6 was to be a professional race car driver. that was my goal.
I think it's every kid's.
I know, right?
Anybody who's ever played with Hot Wheels or the little Matchbox cars.
yeah.
Remember the micro machines and everything?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I still have a box of those somewhere.
Oh, that's
rad.
awesome.
My son's like, "What are these? They're so small."
And then you had like the cars with the pennies in the back where you had to have a penny or something like that to make it
to
go.
get it. to
Yes,
go.
I remember those.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of grew up around it, but my off-road racing, I got into Lucas Oil off-road racing at the regional level.
Oh, like the short course.
Short
trucks and
course, yep.
stuff, like they have over in like Lake Elsinore and stuff.
Yeah, and that
right?
track closed, and then there was a track down in Otay
Yeah.
that closed. So it's kind of a sport that really, really thrives and then just kind of dies off.
That's a bummer.
I got into that, and then I turned pro and got out of a truck called a Pro Light and started racing side by side. Well, one time at the Del Mar Fair, actually doing a display for my business, and a guy had one of those. It's called a Patriot, but it's like a mini monster truck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He had one on display, and I'm like, "Hey, for intros for the real monster trucks, can I take it out?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Well, I didn't tell him what I was going to do with it. So I went out there and I hit the cars in intros, and then actually got the thing to do a wheelie, which I really was just dragging the hitch, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the full-size guys was talking to the guy that owns the Mini. He's like, "Hey, he's a professional with the off-road. Do you think he could drive a full-size?" And he's like, "I don't see why not." So like a couple weeks later, a guy calls me, "Hey, you want to try and drive monster trucks?" I'm like, "Sure."
You're like, absolutely.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, so it was in Turlock, California at a fair, and I'm doing the pit party, and the little boy was asking me how long I've been driving. I'm like, "Dude, this is my first show." Oh shit. And his mom just started.
You were lying.
Yeah. Oh, his mom looked at me and gave me a dirty look, and she's like, don't lie to my kid like that. I'm like, no, it is.
No.
I'm like, I've driven like 5 minutes. They put the big tires on it. I drove and parked it. Like there's some people have, compounds to practice at now, but
that's big money now, but
in that day it was like, dude, just jump in. And the guy that owned the truck didn't even know I was driving it.
Oh, shut up. You met the owner?
No, it was owned by the promoter.
Oh, okay, okay.
To them, it was like one of their equipments, right?
Yeah.
Well, he thought someone else was driving it. So then he caught wind. After a good show, he told the guy, hey, good show. He's all, no, Jonathan was driving it.
Oh, that's rad.
So on my way home from that show, I had 2 other people calling me, hey, you want to drive for me? Hey, you want to drive for me?
No way. How old were you then?
25, 26.
Dude.
That's got to be epic.
Yeah, I'll
at
be
that age.
Yeah, I'll be 40 in the end of April.
Oh, okay.
You're barely older than me. I'm 39 too.
Nice.
Yeah, and I turned 40 in November. So.
Well, hopefully you were surprised. That means I don't show my age.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm just like looking at myself like, what am I doing wrong? I want to drive monster trucks.
The cool thing about that is I pack all my gear. I either fly or drive wherever the venue is.
Just show up and jump
Get in the truck, do my thing, and go home. So like when I weighed the options between that and the off-road where I was working till 2, 3 in the morning.
Fixing the truck.
Fixing the truck. And spending my own money, and then you're really chasing it versus just show up and drive. I'm like, first of all, to me, that's like the biggest compliment that tells me I've reached my goal. I'm a professional driver. I'm getting paid to drive, right?
Yeah.
Not just a person that's throwing money at it, trying to be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of just, everything else just kind of took off from there. I've done SEMA appearances. I've done magazines, TV. I met some amazing people that are professionals in their own respected sports. So it's been a good ride, man. And last year was definitely the peak of my career.
Really?
Why is that?
Well, I got a call from a guy named Craig Christensen. He's a 30-year veteran. He used to drive a real popular truck in Monster Jam called Max D.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's actually one of the only people to drive it other than the creator.
Oh, cool.
So the trucks are subcontracted for Hot Wheels. So he called me and said, hey, do you have a passport? I'm like, I do, but it's not current. He's all, how quick can you do it? And I'm like, I can get it renewed or whatever in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He's all, well, if you're interested and you can get that done, I want to fly you over to Europe. They're in the middle of a world tour.
Oh.
So I got to go to Europe for 53 days straight. I was in 12 different countries. I did 24 shows.
Just driving monster
Just
trucks.
driving monster trucks. I had 4 days off a week, 5 days off a
'cause
week.
you're just on the weekends, basically,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And they're putting you up the whole time?
Yep.
No way.
I got to be a tourist. You know what I mean? And so to me, there are so many times it's like, hey, pinch me because this has got to be fair.
Yeah, seriously. No way. That's a dream, man. Oh, geez.
So you just kind of fell into
dude.
it. You just kind of fell into it. I mean, you were around it. Like you said, you grew up
put
in
it in the
but-
work as well because you were racing anyways, and stuff like that.
And that's the thing too. Like a lot of people say, how do I get into it? When you got to just drive whatever, like whatever's offered to you, drive it. Because obviously, if I'm sitting in my race car racing professional off road, and then the next week I'm willing to just, hey, I want to drive a mini monster truck through the intro of a real truck show, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take every opportunity you can, whether it's big or small, but
You just gotta have a love for the the motorsport or whatever.
Yeah.
just for driving.
because someone had asked me before, like, why? I remember getting out of the mini monster truck and they're, why would you do that? I'm like, dude, when you're a motorhead, you'll drive anything.
Yeah.
You give me the keys to your boat that hauls ass, I'm going to drive your boat.
Yeah, absolutely. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how my father-in-law is. He's got one speed, and it is an F-18. Let's go,
Hell yeah.
And we went out and did the NASCAR experience thing where you get to
Okay.
drive the NASCARs. I think it was like Fontana Speedway or whatever. And we were out there, and he was just pushing it to the max. certain people just get in there and they just go. I mean, I was like trying to like, be good about
Playing
it, be nice
conservative
about
with
it.
it, yeah.
I mean, after a few laps, I just started like letting loose or whatever. I was hitting the rev limiter, you know, it was like, okay, you're going too fast or whatever. But I mean, certain people can just get in and just start driving and having a great time.
And like you said, like you have to like start somewhere. Nobody's just going to hand you keys to like, you're not Ricky Bobby. Nobody's going to hand you keys to a freaking NASCAR and say, go race.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys start out doing like slot cars and, all that kind of stuff just to get track time. And then, if you're doing good at that, then hey, they'll move you to the next stage and then next stage. And then eventually you'll end up there. So yeah.
Yeah. You really got to, really got to eat, breathe, and shit it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And if someone tells you no, you can't just quit.
No.
Yeah.
Too many people quit on their dreams and they never achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's definitely a lesson for the youngsters out there.
Yeah, y'all listening?
Yeah, man. So you're still doing it. You're still considered a professional monster truck driver.
Yep.
Right?
It's funny because in my heart, I'm an off-road racer. And my family always tells me, they're like, dude, you're a monster truck driver. Like, you're not known to be an off-road racer. And in fact, it was funny on CBS Sports, the last season I did for Lucas Oil Off-Road was 2020, and COVID kind of killed it. So on TV, they're announcing our class as we're doing the parade lap, and they're going over each driver. Well, they say, Jonathan Elkins, the monster truck driver. And I'm like, dude, like they're honest. Like, I'm a monster truck driver trying to be an off-road racer now. You know? But I was one of those guys, like, even when I was up front, I'd be on the last lap and I'd roll. Like, I'd get so close. I mean, I got 26 podiums and most of them are seconds and thirds. And I have a first place, but I just would fold under pressure. Where with like the monster trucks, it is super competitive, but you can have a bad show because it's exactly that, a show. And you get a chance to do it again, the next day.
But is it ever a bad show when you're checking out monster trucks, just doing some tricks? Because even when you fail, you're still there doing it,
No, 'cause everyone loves carnage.
Yeah.
So if I make a mistake and roll, it just makes the crowd happy.
They get them amped up.
The promoter's like, hey, man.
Yeah.
You just cost us $20,000 in concrete damage.
Yeah.
Because Hot Wheels is all concrete.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's not
right.
dirt
So-
cheap.
Yeah.
So the cool thing I'm excited about is I go back on tour September. So I've enjoyed the first and second quarter off, but the new truck I'm getting in, it's a brand new chassis. It's full lockers. So you can get that thing to do what we call a cyclone. Mm-hmm. Which,
Spin it.
yeah, the front of the truck is chasing the ass of it as quick as you can blink.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting. When you got 1,800 horsepower
Yeah, you're
and full
pushing some
lockers.
G-forces in. That's
Yeah.
So I have dual lockers on my ZR2. Can I do that?
You could try it.
Let's do it.
I'm not on 66-inch tires though. I'll tell you
We
that.
all earlier we just said to try it. So try it.
Hey,
Oh, that's awesome.
how is it? Like you were saying, like is there like a ranking system then in the monster trucks? Like, do you get awarded points or something like that for?
No.
How's that work?
I mean-
It's just an exhibition more so than
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Even Monster Jam, when you watch it on TV and they're talking about point rankings and all that,
It's just made up.
I'm just going to be honest in front of us all right now. All the judges, they're not real judges. It's all
Subjective.
A lot of it's WWE.
It's all good old boys hanging out with each other, and yeah.
I mean, if you're racing against Gravedigger and you're kind of getting out front, they're known to kill the truck and let you refire because they can do it with remotely.
Yeah. So it doesn't get out of control. Yeah.
Or they want you to kind of hit the cars in the corner to make a mistake. But I mean, if he's blown up, then obviously you're going to win. But that's what I liked about Hot Wheels is because they're not trying to be NASCAR. They're keeping the reality that it's a show and it's entertaining. When you see me win, it's a legit win.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I remember seeing, because Hot Wheels does a lot of different things. I mean, they even did this one thing with like Travis Pastrana or something like that, where he was like launching a truck off of this huge ramp. And I think it was during some big sporting event. It was like,
Was it the one where he had to do the
yeah, it was like a reenactment.
It's like a white truck that had like flames and a wing on the back. Yes.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money to play with, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, people still collect Hot Wheels. I mean,
these aren't. You got a Hot Wheels.
there's Hot Wheels. You got a Land Rover right there. Yeah.
I just gave away my last one, but I was actually going to bring you a bone shaker to add to the collection. So
that'd be really
awesome.
I owe you one for sure.
All right. Yeah.
Well, you're always welcome back. So,
Awesome. Appreciate it.
I might actually have to come down to your shop though, because I mean, I'm having issues with the suspension on the Tundra, so I might see what you can work up on that thing.
Oh, for sure. Today I just worked on a truck for Topo Terra. They do rentals.
Oh, right on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what got me into the overland thing was all these people rolling in my shop. I've had Brad from Trail Recon in my shop.
Oh, okay.
His Comanche or whatever.
Yeah.
I just worked on that probably 6 or 8 months ago.
Oh,
Nice.
So
what's the name of your shop then? By the way, I don't know if you brought that up.
North County Spring.
Okay.
We're out of Escondido area,
Okay.
and I'm 4th generation.
Yeah. You mentioned that's freaking crazy. You know your shit then.
Yeah. I mean, it's all old school blacksmithing too. I mean, we roll the eyes, put them in a furnace, roll them. We arch them by hand with a hammer and anvil. So there's no robot doing.
Yeah, just
what
pumping them out. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is,
hand built in California.
Yep.
Nice.
And that's really how it has to be, especially like, I mean, my background is off road, so we get a lot of the guys that are chasing race cars down in Mexico. Every setup's different, right? So you can't have, I'm not going to pick on other leaf spring brands out there, but they're kind of generic in the sense of they got one for a Toyota Tacoma.
Yeah.
They got one for an F-150, and then if it's not, ideal, pull a leaf out. That's not how it works.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could, you need to have like kind of custom tuned, dialed in a setup versus not one size fits all kind of thing.
Yeah, and I remember a couple years back, I had Dead Man Off Road. I know they've been on your show.
Yeah. They're a
couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, he called me once and he's like, "Hey, my Tundra is sagging really bad."
Okay.
And I'm like, "Well, what do you have back there?" I got Devers. All right, so they have like 13 or 14 leaves in them. Well, do you still have the stock ones? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'll rework your stock ones, and you'll only have like 9 leaves in it. He's like, you're telling me that I'll have 9 leaves, so I'll have less leaves, but I'll hold more weight. I said, hands down.
Really? How is that? Like, is this like the curvature of it, or
A lot of it's the thickness of the material, the displacement, because each leaf that gets shorter, those are all deflection points.
They stack, yeah.
They're all deflection points.
Okay.
So like with the Devers, they go super paper thin. Well, when you go paper thin, you got to go more leaves.
Okay.
And in fact, I told him, well, dude, if you're happy, because he was still kind of like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, if you're happy with it, I want one of your things, one of your little kits, right?
Oh,
Which I still haven't used.
Yeah.
Kind of helps if I get a winch on my rig first.
Yeah.
But it's still holding up. It rides better. It carries the weight. So this whole overlanding thing, I feel like there's a big misconception on what you need for suspension. Like I see people that go long travel, which isn't really necessary per se for 90% of them.
Yeah.
But also like people doing trails, like the wider your rig is, the more you're limited to where you can go.
Yeah. It's opposite. Like people kind of have the conception of like the desert race scene. 'Cause that's kind of where I came from, like, doing all that. And you always wanted to go wider. You're pulling your Ford 8-inch out and putting a 9-inch in there, and, wider arms and all that kind of stuff. And then, the long travel. That's why like people like who get like a Ford Raptor and try and make that into an overland vehicle. Well, it's not set up for all carrying weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At speed.
Yeah. So it's more for going fast over bumps and stuff like that, which is great. It's perfect for that, but it doesn't, translate to overlanding where you're just throwing tons and tons of gear and weight into there,
Yeah. Well, even shock technology. So like with the monster truck, they're nitrogen filled shocks. There's no coil. Well, once I start driving the truck and get it moving, it works better because the fluid heats up.
Yeah. It warms up. Yeah.
Shocks are the same way. And 90% of the time, these guys going down fire roads, they're not moving the reservoir shock enough to get it at operating temperature.
Yeah.
So a lot of rigs that roll in my shop, I tell them, dude, just throw on a Bilstein 5100. Something that's not going to break the bank.
Dampen it a little bit. And
yeah. I mean, if you're not, people want triple bypasses, but they don't even know how to tune them. Well, there's no point in having that, right?
But they look cool, man. They got little tubes on the outside.
I mean, I admit, especially in California, you see a lot of stuff that looks cool that they're not using.
Yeah, those shiny Kings that are all powder coated.
They go to the mall.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the Chevy ZR2, and it comes with the dynamic valving, whatever suspension. and it does great in Mojave. And I don't have a ton of weight in my rig or whatever, but it's all the washboards for like long distance. And when I had the Bilstein 5100s in my Tacoma, those heated up and I had shock fade, or at least that's what I felt like it had, because it wasn't like dampening as much as it should. But then I took my ZR2 out there and it was just like night and day difference. But again, I was like really using them over washboards in the Mojave Desert, So there's a big difference.
Yeah, it's more set up for that versus,
Well, a lot of people too, they're trying to set their ride up with the shock and they ignore the spring.
Yep.
Because, I mean, the shock is just to slow down the movement of the spring. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, in a couple of weeks, I have one of those big earth roamers.
Oh,
is that what it is coming in?
Rad.
Yeah, the guy called me from Colorado and he's like, yeah, I need to have new springs, because his setup, he could just keep that in weight, right?
It's like gotta be heavy.
all four corners. And he's like, I'm thinking like $5,000 and he wants triple bypasses. I'm like, dude, you're going to have $6,000 just in 2 shocks. You're spending more like 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be more realistic.
Yeah, got to be more realistic.
Like, wait, he has an earth roamer, so he knows. You're not pinching pennies at this point.
No.
Or maybe you are because you spent so much on your
earth roamer. Yeah,
that's true.
But don't they have those shocks and everything set up for it? But you said he just kept adding weight, which is why he needs to change.
Yeah.
It? Okay.
How are those set up already? Are they with like all bypass and all that kind of stuff already?
No.
Or that's just what his idea was?
That's his idea.
To make it better. Because he just thinks, oh, these are the best shocks out there. That's what I need.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the...
But the key is, the cool thing, he's a good listener.
That's good.
That's the thing. Like, forums are great. Like, getting feedback from other people with what their builds are.
I love the internet.
Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of people that it's comical when people come in the shop and they're telling me how they want me to do it. It's like, dude, this is all I do.
Yeah.
Besides, all I do is
I drive monster trucks and I do suspension.
That's it. So, and that's what really kind of got me to open the door with us doing overlanding. So, like 2020, monster trucks kind of just died off for a little bit, right?
Yeah, like everything. Yeah.
Because you couldn't be out
events.
Because you couldn't be outside with fresh air.
Yeah.
Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so, I haven't been, yeah.
So like I had long weekends, and so between time and all these overlanders coming into my shop, I'm like, dude, I'm going to look more into this, right? So I started watching Expedition Overland, which you just start to binge that, right?
Yeah. It becomes its own overland religion,
Yeah. I gotta give him credit, man. Clay's a cool dude.
Good production value in his stuff. Like I'm watching his new series that he just came out
next
with.
level for sure.
It's amazing. Yeah, but he's got a film background, so yeah.
Yeah. And he's every overlander's dream, right?
I mean, who doesn't want a big hangar in Montana to store all your cool toys and stuff?
I know.
Yeah,
have Toyota deliver vehicle.
Yeah, I got a new Tundra for this trip. Yeah, that'd be nice.
It was funny. Someone's like, "Why did he get a red one if he wrapped it?" Because that's what Toyota gave him.
I'm not gonna complain. You could bring me a pink one. I don't care.
I mean, dude, if Viagra wanted to sponsor me $100,000 to put, on my driving suit, guess what?
I'm wearing a blue suit.
I'm blue. Yeah. You go where the money's at.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that. So Mark Westlow, his
Westlow
family,
Chevrolet.
Yep.
All right.
So he had a company called Bear Teardrops, which changed to Carp Expedition.
Huh.
It's they're wood, but they're all rhino lined.
Oh.
So he came to me once because he was done with the Timberins. And I've gotten in arguments online with Timberin, but I'm sorry, but a giant rubber block between your axle and your frame is not suspension. That's called a bump
It's a bump stop. Yeah.
What's funny is you watch these people, you could make a margarita in your trailer just driving down a washboard road. So... I'm right. You've seen those guys.
Oh, dude, yeah. Everything rattling.
So he wanted something that actually worked. So in-house, I mean, your typical, so if you threw away that crap, a typical trailer spring is 26 inches long, 1 3/4 inches wide, right? Super short, not going to move.
Yeah.
We made 36-inch, 2.5-inch wide springs with military wraps. So cycling around 11.5 inches, if I'm being completely honest. And another reason we wanted to get away from this whole control arm thing is If you look at the control arms under the trailer, the only ground clearance that you're gaining is like 1.5 feet between the two control arms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if your axle can't go over it, you're not going over it, right?
Yeah, regardless. Yeah.
And half the time the rigs are like stock, but they want a trailer that's got long travel, right? It's like you're not going to take the trailer where the truck's not going to go.
Right.
I mean, they might.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah,
try.
probably.
And I like Mark. He's a good friend of mine. And from a business standpoint, I can see why he did budget trailers to get people, out there, right? Mm-hmm. So everything was 2x2 box frame. No water, no galley system, nothing. So I did like 3 or 4 trailers for him. I said, let's do a trade on the next one. I want one of your trailers. All right. So he brought one over, and it was the frame, the axle, everything in the box. So I took it all off, and he came by to pick up a customer's trailer, and he's all, dude,
Saw yours.
yeah, you disassembled it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to build my own.
Make it better. Yeah.
I figured with monster trucks, where I'm used to just beating the crap out of stuff.
Yeah.
Off-road racing, it's got to last. And, 18 years of welding and fabrication, I can do this. So I built my own frame, all 2x3. And I even my dad with his old school technology, we actually did what's called a buggy leaf for the shackle hanger.
Okay. What's the,
So it's
Explain that, yeah.
all right, so it's like, let's say 18 inches long or so, a leaf spring with one eyelet, right?
yeah.
Well, then it mounts on the end that's not the eyelet. It mounts to the frame. So your shackle goes on the eyelet. So at full droop, not only does your leaf spring completely drop out,
It's got
but
that
the
pivot
shackle pulls away from the frame.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Gotcha.
So yeah, we're at about 12 inches of wheel travel with it, and it handles better than my truck.
That's so rad.
It's one of those things where I did it because I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I went super stout. I mean, all the hangers are 5/16 thick material. So I wanted indestructible.
Yeah, it's bulletproof almost. Yeah.
Yeah, I teamed up with, and I want to say it's not because I'm not Expedition Overland. I'm not huge on TV or YouTube, but there's a certain respect or excitement from sponsors when you say, hey, I drive monster trucks and this is what I want to do. Do you want to partner with me?
That gets their attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got Dometic on board.
Oh, cool.
Great product.
Yeah.
Icon backed me up. I got, rims for the trailer and for the truck. They were matching.
Oh, bitchin'.
And probably a few other companies that I can't think of. Overland Vehicle Systems.
Oh, yeah.
VS, yeah.
Didn't know much, but after using their product and then seeing others, like I've been in 70 mile an hour wind with their tent, and dude, it holds up.
Like a rooftop tent you're talking about, yeah?
I mean, let's face it, like everything comes from China, right?
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah.
It's a battle of who's going to be there to really watch their product being produced. And that's where the respect level is their oversight for their brand. So within a month, I built this trailer, had a galley system, 20 gallons of water, hot water heater. And at the time, my son had just gotten his neck brace off. He's a cross-country runner.
Oh, okay.
He had been hit from F-350 on 37s at 60 miles an hour out in wine country
While he was running?
while he was running.
No way.
So, and if you know anything about cross-country runners, their season is like 365 days a year.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, he was never home. So, like, my thing with him was when you get your neck brace off, I know once you start running, I'm never going to see you. So, before you do that, you're mine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're going to do an overland trip. What we've been watching on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So I literally got the trailer done like the day before. No different than prepping a race car. You get it done the last minute, right?
Yeah.
There's been trips where like literally we're still wrenching on our vehicles, and it's like we got to get this done because tomorrow we're
leave in
leaving.
3 hours. Yeah.
Even if you started 6 months ago, right?
Yep, 100%.
And I kind of mapped out probably the first 4 or 5 days. I like to be spontaneous. I feel like if you plan it all out, like so strategically, you miss out on what you
Yeah, because you're rushing yourself almost. You're like, oh, we got to get to this point versus slowing down and enjoying
Spontaneity of things, man. It kind of like adds to it.
have a game plan, kind of like a rough game plan, like things you want to do.
Yeah.
But then just gonna go for
So
it.
here's the amateur side of me, though. So I mapped it out. I was thinking like 28. I mapped out like 28 or 2,900 miles. 5,800 miles later, I completed the trip. So we damn near doubled it.
Wow.
We did 9 states in 15 days.
No way.
Everyone's like, dude, that was your first trip. And I'm like, dude, go big or go home.
Heck yeah.
Right?
Where'd you go?
Dang it. It's funny because at almost 40, I got to look at pictures and, oh man, I was there. Like when I look at
with you, dude. Yeah.
when I look at my European tour from Hot Wheels, I'm like, oh wait, I was there, or where was this? Right?
Like, oh yeah, I have been in that country.
I recognize that place. Yeah.
We started in California, spent some time in Utah,
Okay.
and then cut up through some Idaho,
Okay.
then Wyoming, then shot over to South Dakota,
How cool.
and then Colorado.
Did you see any like? I mean, I'm assuming you went to some national parks. Did you see
Oh, yeah.
sightseeing? Like, did you see Mount Rushmore?
Yeah,
Things like
and
that?
that's the thing. I thought Mount Rushmore was one of those things where your mom's like, yeah, you were there, but you were too. So I'd never been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there yet. That's like one of my lists.
What's cool too is like, so there's 2 ways you can come in. The one way you come in and you see the faces like facing you, right?
Okay.
Well, when you leave, you come around at a different angle where it's like a side profile, and it's just rad, like so rad. And my whole thing was like the way this world's going, and I'm not one to get political, but you just don't know how much longer some of these things are going to be around.
Yeah.
Right?
See them now while you can.
Yeah.
But the people in South Dakota made it very clear that that mountain will never be touched.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh no, there'll be a world war there before.
Yeah.
And here's why, like, I don't always like to plan things. Everyone I talk to, they're like, dude, 15, 20 minutes, you'll be good, right? We were there for an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
Checking it out, taking it in.
Yeah. And to really like read the history on it, and it's almost like a spiritual experience, to be honest. Like, and it should be. It's a huge part of our country,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
So that was like a huge highlight, but we can all say that like on some trips, some things are way more exciting than you anticipated, and some things are disappointment.
Yeah. Kind
right?
of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times.
But I remember being in Cortez, Colorado. We didn't really have an agenda, and my oldest daughter loves riding horses. I'm like, what should we do today? She's like, I want to go on a ride. I'm like, you find it on the internet, right? So she found some ranchers that do a trail ride, and we had a blast. You know, we did probably 4 or 5 miles. My butt wasn't ready for that.
yeah.
But it's those moments, like the spontaneous things that you don't plan.
Yeah.
And when some people ask me, like, besides the obvious of like getting away and getting disconnected from the internet and all that, like, what do you get out of it? So like the biggest thing when you do road trips is the kids always want souvenirs, right?
Oh yeah.
Every time.
Every time. And it's always a stuffed animal, right?
Yeah. Or it's something that doesn't say anything on it
nothing to do
of
with
where
where
it
you
came
are.
from.
Yep. I need the thing.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get the little thing that says like Grand Canyon, please. No.
Yeah. Not like a squashmallow from
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got a.
I have a 9 and
You're like-
12-year-old daughters. Yeah.
I can get those from Temecula, right?
Anywhere. Yeah.
So, but like normally when you're paying for gas and hotel and always eating out, what's the first thing you're like, dude, we're not spending the money on it. It's souvenirs, right?
Yeah.
So like with overlanding, whatever they wanted, like, dude, get it, right?
Yeah.
You want a souvenir, get it. I mean, not a $130 Lego set, but
Yeah. You get a limit. I would do that with like we go into the gift shop and I'd be like, okay, you got a $20 limit. You can pick out whatever you want, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. His daughter,
Oh well,
she plays
works
the game.
it.
So, for example, we went to Arizona. Have you ever been to Arizona?
no.
Oh, you got to
pretty
go
rad.
there, man. It's
Yeah.
in Williams, Arizona.
Okay.
So it's right off the 40, and it's basically like Jurassic Park with like real life bears, deer, wolves,
yeah.
Arctic
Buffalo,
wolves,
yeah.
buffalo, great white buffalo.
You know what? I think I might have seen that.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So they like you
They
have
come up to the vehicle, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can drive through and then you got to keep your windows up because they'll come up to your vehicle and stuff. It's a fun experience.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But then there's like you get out of the vehicles. Once you like do the whole Jurassic Park drive-through thing, you can get out and actually go into like a limited zoo type deal.
Yeah, small
And it's really
zoo.
cool. They have like the raptor show where they have the birds and everything. But point is, his daughter She's like, oh,
They had the
okay, I have a
biggest gift
$20.
shop
They
in
had
the
the biggest
world.
gift shop in the world, man. Okay.
massive.
You go in there, it's just like a whole nother Bass Pro shop.
Yeah.
Well, then she's like, oh, hey, my dad gave me 20, but hey, Ben is here. He'll buy me something. Allie will buy me something. And then like she'll end up with like $130 budget at that point. You know?
Oh, last time we went, she worked over Shelby.
That's what it was,
Without me
Shelby.
knowing, like we were out at the restaurant eating, and then like she comes back and like Shelby's like, oh, I told her I'd let her pick something out. She ended up buying her like a necklace and all this other. She spent like $100 on her. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
no, don't okay that.
So what was crazy is at the end of that trip, we wrapped it up in Grand Canyon. And we saw a family get out of a van, and they're just eyeballing my truck. At the time, I had the tent on my truck.
What kind of truck is it?
2018 Ram 3500.
Okay.
Mega cab.
Oh, nice.
I love the mega cab.
Freaking like a couch back there.
Yeah, but I utilize all that back storage with stuff that you don't want in the elements or stolen.
Smart.
Yeah.
And so we see this family get out of this van, and they're checking out my rig. So long story short on that, they had been on a trip for 2 weeks, living in hotel or staying in hotels, eating at restaurants. In 2 weeks, they spent a little over $11,000.
Holy cow.
I did 2 weeks, including all the souvenirs, right? All the gas and everything. 4,200. That whole
that's
trip cost me $4,200.
Yeah.
And that was like a long time. And you saw 9 states. You
Yeah.
saw all these national parks and
That even
national
included-
treasures.
Yeah, that even included one night we hit up Moab, and it was just nasty weather. And you got to find that happy medium of enjoying the great outdoors and your family not hating you. So we got a hotel that night.
Smart move.
Shower, warm bed, you know.
Especially, if you're on the road for that long, it's nice to kind of.
So here's a cool thing too. So like when Mark brought me the trailer, it was one for like his marketing director, and it was a 4-foot cabin instead of the normal 5. And so he kind of couldn't really sell it. Well, one thing that became a benefit when I was done with it is I got 13-inch wide fenders because I'm running 32 12.5
Okay.
on it. And so and they're the only fenders I could find. And I don't like the squared off fender. I mean, you got a round tire. I mean, do the math, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is it literally is not, because of the 4-foot cabin, it's not wider than my truck. And I see some of these people come into my shop, dude, they got easily a foot wider on each side than their rig. It's like,
Really?
yeah. It's like when you got a 5-foot box and then you got 2 foot of fenders, your rig's not 7 feet wide.
No.
So every trail we did, which we ended up doing 231 miles of that trip, was trails.
Nice.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of off-road time.
Yeah, the worst one was South Dakota. It was really windy, and me and my son needed to pee. And
Don't piss in the wind, man.
No, but the worst part was like the only direction we could find to not piss on ourselves was facing each other almost. It's like, dude, that doesn't work, right?
You're right.
You had to go at the same time? You couldn't wait?
Pretty much, yeah. But the cool thing about the width of that trailer is I never had to look back to go, okay, the truck went through. Will the trailer fit?
Not worrying about it. Yeah. How is that like I've never I've towed trailers plenty, but never off road. It's like no issues. I mean, obviously with a Dodge Ram, I'm sure it's pulling pretty good. So.
Oh yeah, it doesn't even know. So when we drove through Colorado, it was a warning as far as you should not be driving.
Oh really?
But we
For
wanted
what
to
reason?
for the wind.
Oh, the wind.
65 plus mile an hour wind.
Yeah.
I was at a gas station, literally pushing both of my feet on my door just to open it to get out of my truck. That trailer didn't move.
Nice.
My truck did not know it was there. And the trailer comes in at like 1,950 pounds.
Fully loaded?
Fully loaded, which is lighter than so many.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of weight is wasted in sometimes unnecessary gear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's overlanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the dream setup as far as like I didn't finish everything. Last week, working with my local water jet guy, we designed a rack. So I got a rack on the top now.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the only other thing we learned on that trip is putting away a tent is not fun. So
Especially in the wind. Yeah.
yeah, so we went with the OVS brush filled. the hard shell.
Yeah. That's
So that just
big
got
difference. Yeah.
that just got put on the trailer.
That's cool.
And the only problem with that is I got it home, and living in the suburbs, you have a 7-foot garage.
Yep.
Well, it's taller than 7 feet. So right now it's sitting on 18-inch golf cart tires to fit my garage.
Roll it in, yeah. That's got to be rad.
But the truck,
Speaking of golf carts.
Yeah. We're just talking about those.
it works.
Yeah.
So we're actually planning a trip in July to do Pacific Northwest.
Oh,
Okay.
That's what I'm calling it, even though in reality with our time frame, it's mostly just going to be Oregon.
yeah. That's Pacific
Are
Northwest.
you going to try to do like the expo and all that kind of stuff?
What's it? We were just talking about the other day because it's the end of July. So it's like we might as well try and check it out. But at the same time, it's like I can see all that stuff like on the internet.
Yeah.
I can always go to Expo West.
Which I'm going to.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Every time I go want to go there, you go, oh crap, it's so expensive.
So much stuff you want.
I know. But so like, I don't know. It's like if I'm in Oregon, I want to see what Oregon has to provide.
Yeah.
Kind of like the souvenir thing. Like you buy, you want to see what you can't get at home.
Yeah.
Same thing with food. Like when I travel, I love to eat whatever local is.
Do you like fish?
Oh, I love fish.
Yeah. Well, Oregon coast is amazing for that.
Yeah, we're gonna hit some coast, but I definitely want to do Crater Lake. I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah. Yeah. We're actually doing a Pacific Northwest in July as well.
Okay.
And like, it was kind of the same idea. We want to do Crater Lake. There's some falls that we want to see, a couple different areas, and then keep going north and then head east from there. But yeah, there's so much to see. You could spend forever just in that one area.
Yeah. When I first got into it, dude, I got an iPad. I got the 6-7 design mounts. Dude, I didn't even know how to do mapping. Like, I'm still
But I
looking
gotta
at.
have all the stuff.
I know, and it's just like any other. Oh, so many other industries, like people don't want to share information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mountain bike for fun. People don't like to tell you where they're riding. You know,
Well, I mean,
that's
I understand that from like a camp perspective, because like sometimes you'll have a really good spot and you don't mind sharing with your close friends because you know they're going to take care of it, they're going to respect, they're going to clean up. But then they share with their friends, and then their friends share with their friends, and then it becomes blown out. And then you find beer cans, and you find like all these other
Not
things.
be as big of a problem though, but then like when like you were saying like COVID and everybody went out, and then everything just started getting trashed.
so that's why when I reach out to people to give me tips, I start out by. So I'm a professional monster truck driver,
Always help break the ice. Yeah.
and it helps.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I definitely like getting away. I mean, my life is very fast paced.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Nice to slow down once in a while.
Yeah, it definitely is. And thing is too, like we were talking about before, like I've always enjoyed camping, but campgrounds aren't what they were 20 years ago or even 15 years ago.
Nah.
They are like a college dorm party scene, right? Yeah.
Hey, we were just down at Carlsbad State Beach, and it was literally just like a huge, like wall to wall, just people,
Yeah.
you know? So I feel that.
So for me, I mean, I'm a religious man, but in 2020, couldn't go to church.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
for me, it's amazing how you get outdoors, and it's a spiritual connection. Like I felt like it since I couldn't be in a building with my friends worshiping, the outdoors was the next great thing. I mean, I got a hidden spot on the backside of a Big Bear. Dude, you could murder somebody and no one's gonna know.
I'm a religious man. Yeah. There's a spot where you can totally murder
You can
somebody.
bury some bodies. Yeah.
Hey, read the Bible. There's murders, right?
Cain and Abel, man.
There's a time for everything. But I think more people need to find their out, like their
peace.
peace, right?
Yeah, I get more in touch when I'm out in nature, and like I can just like, especially I'll get up early in the morning. I can get out there and just the calm, and and just like, yeah, I feel more in touch, when I'm out.
Yeah, and then if you have kids, I mean, it reminds me. So I'm an '80s baby. You played outside until it got dark. You made games up. It kind of brings your kids into how you grew up, as far as use your imagination.
Yeah, they have to get creative and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, we were out in. I took my daughter to Menachie Meadows, and there's not a lot to do out there. Once you're set up and camping.
there is,
I mean,
but-
yeah, there is. But like for a kid, when they're just used to having their tablets and all that kind of stuff, and like I'm like, I don't know, go find something to do. And she started finding sticks, and then started building a fort, and then like her mind started getting creative, and they get their imagination going.
But I get what you're saying. Like we're a couple miles away from Bale Lake. Well, Vale Lake's got mini golf. They got a pump track. They got
everything.
happy hour. Dude, no one's at the campsite doing family stuff.
Yeah, it's not camping.
No, it's straight up glamping, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you got to bring a golf cart in your trailer, you're not camping. But some people think, I mean, overlanding to a certain extent is kind of a little bit of glamping, but like I feel like it's a happy medium because I try to get friends to go and they'll bring their ground tent and their cooler with ice and all that. Well, they don't have a fun time. Like I feel like the overland movement per se has opened up the ability to make it a little bit more tolerable.
Yes, yeah, and it helps, like, because like a lot of wives or something don't want to get out, they don't want to go, but if you can make it a little bit more comfortable for them, then maybe they're I paid my dues. I've slept on ground tents for years and roughed it, and
You did backpacking.
yeah, I've done all that. Yeah, so but yeah, it's nice to have like a fridge sometimes, or some of these amenities, a rooftop tent with a mattress or something.
But I tell people, like, when I was looking at the iCamper way back then, I'm like, dude, $4,500 freaking bucks.
Yeah,
like that's a used car.
Yeah.
And
It's a
in
Honda
all
Civic on your roof.
yeah. And in all honesty, that's why I started looking at OVS. Like, I'm a businessman. We got to make money, but what I do, no one else does. Rooftop tents. There's a million of them out there, right?
Yeah.
But the first time I slept in one, total game changer. We were out at Giant Rock with our youth group, and I had my daughters, and there was 40-mile-an-hour wind at Giant Rock, and it was like a father-daughter camp out. 3 of the dads lost their brand new tents. They fell apart, so they went home, and the rest of the group was freezing. Dude, we had a little heater buddy.
Yeah.
And dude, we did fine. You hear the flapping, which I just laugh when you read reviews and people are like, it flaps in the wind and makes noise. Dude, it's a freaking tent.
Yeah, I love that. What do you expect? Yeah.
I mean, it's thicker canvas like type material.
But still, it's gonna.
I mean, the OVS tents are actually really nice. I mean, our friend Allie Ventures, she actually has OVS awning and tent.
Yeah, just got the 270. Put it on the trailer and the tent won't open.
Oh, shut up.
You need a 180?
Huh?
You need a 180?
No,
just from you can't push the tent over far enough.
So now I gotta go.
When it opens, yeah.
But for those that are listening, like if you're in SoCal, there's a cool dude. His name's Matt. He owns a company called Metalcraft Products, but it's water jetting. Dude, you design it and he makes it. And the cool thing with working with him is like he grew up around the off-road stuff. He gets it. He's not just a dude that owns a machine, a bunch of machines.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll go to him with a problem and he'll kick back a solution that's better than what I had in my head.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
So after I got the custom rack on, I put the awning on, went to open the tent. I'm like, crap. Now I guess custom never stops, right?
Yeah. No. It just creates another issue.
Yeah.
Another challenge.
Yeah. But when I was building that thing, like it came with like a little 2-inch mattress. I yanked that out, went to my local upholstery guy. Well, dude, I want a 6-inch mattress.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
You went full
6-inch. Dude, you open the door and then you're just like, holy crap, that mattress is thick.
She's thick.
Well, a big thing that kind of pushed me to be comfortable and be warm was 2017. I was doing a show up in Northern California, and I was doing a wheelie. So like earlier we talked about you can kill a monster truck with a remote. Mm-hmm. Well, they thought I was getting too close to the stands, which I wasn't. Later, we found out. Well, they killed the truck. And when they killed the truck, the rear steer is only locked straight when the truck is under power. So when they killed the truck, the rear steer
went loose.
Just let loose, so the truck fell backward. So it knocked me out. I guess there's 4 levels of a concussion, I think, and I was level 3.
Oh, wow.
Like, I don't remember 2 weeks before. I
Really?
don't remember a couple months after. Well, ever since then, I get really bad migraines. And when it's cold, the migraines are just unbearable, where there's been days, man, where I just want to end my life. And just
from the pain.
Yeah. So that was another thing that kind of pushed me to get into a higher quality tent. And for us, that was a rooftop tent.
Yeah.
And then I got into getting a buddy heater. And it was so awesome, that trip, that with the wind where people left, I woke up at 7 a.m. because I slept good. Normally, ground tent with a migraine, dude,
Miserable.
yeah, miserable. And so then when you finally fall asleep, it's 9 o'clock, 10, but you really didn't sleep.
Yeah.
So for me, it had to be what was going to work for me and my condition, if you want to call it a condition. But it's just the cost of what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I want to be comfortable. Like, yeah, I just from working construction for years, my back's jacked, my knees, everything hurts. So I want to have a comfy mattress to lay on. The blow up mattress don't cut it anymore.
And people that haven't done a rooftop tent, I'm like, dude, if you get anything out of it, it's the fact that you're not pulling the coldness from the earth. Mm-hmm. Like you can buy a $600 2-person, tent to throw on a Prius, and it's still a better setup than a ground tent with 500 pads that you packed and
all that extra gear you got to carry too then.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I understand that because I actually have done both, and I've actually gone back to the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I have a shift pod. I don't know if you've ever slept in one of those, but
no, I've heard some good stuff about them.
Yeah. I mean, we were up at Thomas Mountain, and there was like probably 65, 70 mile an hour winds. And those shift pods, because they pop out, they actually hold form really well in the wind. And it was literally blowing so hard. We must have had a gust over that, number 65, 70, and it just like literally collapsed the inside, the one wall. And then I just popped it back out, we were good again. But it's insulated. It's a thicker material. It's like this reflective Mylar and all this other stuff. So I sleep well when I'm in there. But I didn't when I didn't have a good mattress pad.
Yeah.
And I got one of those Xped like wannabes off Amazon where it's inflatable and then it has a memory foam on top. And I learned my lesson. I was like, I need to pump it up more. No, you don't. You want to pump it up kind of less because then it'll kind of form for your body. Because I'm a side sleeper.
Okay.
And so I'm always like, my shoulder, I wake up and it's like,
all jacked.
But now that I have that thing and I sleep like a baby.
Yeah. The only other thing I don't miss about the ground tent is the dirty bottom of a tent.
True.
Because then you put down a tarp, but let's face it, the tarp's super dirty. Now when you get home,
you got that to deal with. Yeah.
It's just like why have a tarp? Because then the tarp, I mean, I use it for protection because there's like sharp, sticks or rocks or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just as bad.
Yeah.
Like, you have to clean 2 things instead of one.
Right.
Yeah, the most of the feedback I get is people they're uncomfortable. They're sick of getting ice. Like, dude, just get a cheap rooftop tent and a fridge, and your life is
those 2 things, if anything,
we're game changers.
Because it's not that they don't like being out; they just don't like. They rather drive out there in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Enjoy the outdoors and then leave. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm not going to drive from Temecula to Big Bear to enjoy a campsite that I didn't camp in.
Yeah.
Right.
Part of it's seeing the stars and seeing the moon.
Yeah. Sitting around the campfire at night and all that. And yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's what kind of inspired this podcast. We were just trying to like hang out, have conversations around a campfire. That's why our logo is a microphone with a fire, because it's just like a bunch of friends just hanging out by the fire. That's like literally, to me, that's camping. Going out, like you said, seeing the stars, having the fire, going to sleep, waking up, having that morning coffee. Tastes so good.
And sometimes just having conversation, like you start building friendships.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we went from talking, next to a trailer in 10 minutes, and now I'm sitting in your home on a podcast. You don't know. I try to teach my kids, like, you really, really want to learn from somebody, you just listen. Mm-hmm. Just straight up listen. Like when the older guys come into my shop, especially, the old guys with the Vietnam.
Yeah.
I just listen, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're probably 10 years from them all being gone, and then it's just all of us screw-ups, right?
Yeah.
That don't know what a real war was and suffering.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you want to learn, you listen.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I actually had the pleasure, my grandfather, he was a fighter pilot in Vietnam, and he took us to this March Air Force Base Air Museum, and that was a completely different experience because I walked through there, looking at all the old gear, all the old memories, and he's literally going down memory lane.
Yeah.
He's like, I used to fly that plane. I used to I flew over this, right? I know this gear, I just was listening to him and watching him as he was like soaking it all in. It was so cool.
Yeah. Same with like my dad. He was a fighter pilot in the Navy, and in Vietnam, he was actually stationed on the Midway. So he'll take me down and like, I'll bring friends, and he'll give us like behind the scenes, like, so this is where my bunk was, and you know, we did this over here, and like, you know, you could use this like behind the scenes, and like, but you could see him reliving it too, and like, you get so many cool stories and, you know, knowledge from all these, you know, old timers. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening, but all these old timers, you know.
But it's all about the stories.
Yeah, oh yeah,
right?
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, get to sit there and just eat it up. Yeah.
At the end of the trip, dude, I can't tell you if I had the Bilsteins or if I had the Fox that I have on my truck now.
Yeah.
Right.
That shit don't matter.
None of that matters, dude. It's all the memories, and that's one thing. When I was in tour over in Europe, dude, there are some people they're crashing out early, and so my typical weekend, I was doing 4 shows a weekend, and sometimes 5. If you wear yourself too thin, then you're sick and you can't perform.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, man, I was embracing everything. Like everything looks different at night, so I'd see stuff during the day and then go see it at night.
Yeah, experience it all.
Yep.
When are you gonna get that chance again? Maybe, you know.
Yep. And it's all about the experience. So, like I said earlier, like the McDonald's is different, but I go to a restaurant and I can't read the menu, but whatever is the best thing on this,
Give it a try.
give it to me.
Yeah,
Tell me what it is later.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I used to do too. I mean, I still do it today, but like when I was living in San Francisco, there's things that I would never try just because if I knew what it is, I would never try it. Like, oh, I don't want to eat tripe, you know? But hey, guess what? I ate tripe and I had it at this really nice Italian restaurant and it tasted good. But then I found out what it was and I was like, I'll never have that again.
There was a thing I ate in, I can't remember what it's called. It's in Scotland and it's like sheep.
Haggis.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dude.
Sheep intestine. Yeah.
Have you had it?
God, no. I stayed away. I'm sorry.
Before I ordered it, I was told you don't want to know what's in it.
Yeah,
They
don't
said, tell me after. Dude, it was actually I liked it. I mean,
What does it taste like?
kind of. I think it tastes like meatloaf.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably just like a meat kind of pie.
I mean, it was big. It was
spongy?
probably it's probably like it looks like a giant egg roll
Okay.
full of meatloaf. So, and I want to say too, I want to say the locals were just messing with me that it's really not like the super. It's popular for tourists, but to them, not everyone eats it.
Yeah.
I think they just wanted to see the American eat it.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Let's pick on this guy.
Yeah.
But I'd rather try something and not like it than, when I'm 80, go, man, I wish.
Look back and regret it.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life. That's why, I mean, I was 5 years old saying I want to be a professional race car driver. And then you're flying first class on a plane and all you have, to get paid to drive in front of 18,000 people, show after show after show. Like, you know how many times I heard no and dude, you won't make it. And sometimes from my own family members, but like, dude, if you got a dream, man, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. Just do it.
Yeah. You gotta try. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you don't.
And same thing with the overlanding. Like, I feel like some people, they overanalyze it and think they need all this gear.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just get out and see if you even like it, because you might not like it, and that's okay. But if you get it out there and you're like, man, I had a blast. I can't imagine how much more fun I'd have if I had these different gear setups to help me, like, see more and go further.
Well, that's how you figure out what you need too. You go there like, oh, if I had like, I didn't know I needed a butt heater, but now, like, oh, that would improve my camping experience. So I'll go get one of those now,
There's so many different iterations we have gone through with our gear. It was so funny. I forgot who was on our podcast. We're like, oh yeah, the first time you go on an overlanding trip, you have so much gear. And then you realize I didn't use any of this.
Yeah.
And then you start slimming it down, and then like perfecting like exactly like, oh, cold weather is this, warm weather is this, right? And so I mean we've kind of perfected our setups, but we're still learning at the same time.
Yeah.
So I want your expertise on this, and here's my next.
You mean my opinion?
Yeah,
not
it's
my
expertise, but yeah.
Then my next thing to tackle is cooking setup.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask you
Okay,
that too.
hang on. I have the Scottle, which
All right.
Jerry is cool.
Yeah, Timbo
we did get sponsored from him.
Oh, cool.
So I got to plug that in there.
Yeah, well,
I wanna
okay.
have it-
I still need a Scottle because my Blackstone is still broken.
Oh yeah, we were talking to Jerry. We're trying to get him on in timing and all that stuff, but he's got some rad stories.
Yeah. But so like cooking stove, like I had the generic Walmart one,
Yeah.
right?
works.
So then, but to me it sucked. So only because the burner's not that consistent. You're either like not very much flame or burning a hole in your pot.
You can't dial it in as well.
Yeah. And then the cook partner, I know that's like the go-to, and it's pretty stealth, but you can't get too big pans or pots on them, which is notorious in review. So here's the one I'm looking at. And you got to let me know if you guys used it or know anyone. But I was looking at
Ben's had like almost every.
I have a lot of cook sets.
I was looking at the Jet Boil Genesis.
Yep.
Those are rad.
Yeah. That's what I was actually going to recommend. So
Adam just got one of those, right?
Yeah, there's a poor man's version, which I have. It's the Coleman Fold and Go. And I paid $80 for it. It's literally...
It's gnarly, though. Like, I watched Trail Recon, and Brad mentioned some points he didn't like about it.
About the Fold and Go?
About,
the Coleman one, yeah.
Oh.
But the biggest thing, I guess everyone's at a different level. I don't care about price. I'm all about, I know Overlanders say buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
But like, I see people come to my shop, take so many shortcuts around, and guess where they end up in the end?
Yep.
At my shop. And I'm pulling off sumo springs and the little coilovers, the little coils that go on their shocks. It's like, dude, the leaf spring was the problem. Like, now you're spending twice as much. So if it's a good stove.
Listen, I'm not, the Jet Boil that is like the folding thing.
Yeah.
What's
Like
really
a waffle
nice about
maker
it
almost.
Because our buddy Herb, he's like really into the food scene, right? He's got every camping type. He even has a little oven that's a 12-volt oven that he cooked chicken in. And all this other stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
It was really good, though.
So he has the Jet Boil, and Adam does too.
Yep.
Everybody loves it because it packs up and it has all like the pots and the pans and everything in it. The reason why I like the Fold and Go is because I'm just looking for a heat source, because I like cooking in my cast iron pans. And my cast irons aren't like the Lodges. They're the GSI ones, which are like a machined face. They're like half the weight of a cast iron pan, but cooks like that, but you can still put it directly on hot coals. So I like that. And I also have, I'm gonna plug it. I'm not wearing the shirt today. I wore it earlier at the gym. Fireside Outdoor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I like cooking steaks when I'm at, steaks, hamburgers, whatever you want to do, hot dogs even. But I like a real flame, right? And a wood burning to cook my meat on. And you actually have the pop-up fire pit, and they have a cooktop surface on it you can buy.
Great, yeah.
Like the grate. And so that's what I would recommend to cook the meat on. But everything else, I just use the Coleman Fold and Go, man, with some really nice cast iron pans, which I can use on that as well as on the topper of the fire pit.
Dude, if you're all for real flame, and this isn't just a plug on another sponsor, but I don't do those Traegers when it comes to cooking at home. Try it. Have you heard of Pit Barrel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Old school, no temperature. Okay. Dude, when my brother-in-law does his Traeger, kind of all tastes the same. Dude, I do my Pit Barrel, which surprisingly you can cook, 4 racks of ribs on like 30 coals, right? And people are just blown away because it doesn't have all the fancy gadgets. But no, I agree. Like, I totally dig real flame.
Yeah.
Something about the
I mean, I have a Traeger Pro at my house, and I like it.
And your cell phone tells you the temperature of your meat from while you're watching the football game.
Actually, it doesn't anymore because I didn't update the app and everything else, all the technology.
And that's why you have to go to the gym.
Yeah. No, but I actually bought it off our buddy, who we actually call Chef Jeff.
Okay.
And Chef Jeff sold it to actually get a real wood burning one that you feed yourself and you're cooking it. And you're getting the full experience. I mean, I actually watched on Netflix during COVID. They had this like American barbecue pit boss cook-off type deal where the final thing was they actually had to build their own cooker.
Oh,
so they had
I think I saw
cinder
that.
blocks, and they had to like feed it, and they had to get the airflows right and all this other stuff.
Oh,
so
rad.
I appreciate the old school, and so that's something I can agree with you on. I like the flame kiss. Over the hot coals, that kind of cooking.
Again, it goes back. I don't think you could go wrong whether you're spending $500 on a stove or $20 at Walmart. But I feel like if I'm in a position where finances are ideal and I want to go to the next level, then
Get the
why
Jet
not?
Boil.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Just get the Jet Boil.
like if I could afford it, yeah, I would love to.
I
have
saw a
Jet
guy
Boil.
put one of those just in one of those rigid boxes because I use the rigids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it's all about it being smaller. But the cool thing is when you open it, the capabilities of putting bigger pots, it's a bigger stove in a sense.
Yeah. I still use like it's not a Coleman.
Stanley.
No, I don't know what it is.
The blue one?
The blue. It's not Stanley.
Oh, he got it like Big 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a 2-burner, kind of like your typical Coleman, and you open it up, and it's such a pain in the ass to use. But I've been using it for like years just because I have it and it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My dad uses the Camp Chef.
Okay.
And the Camp Chef is like
a little bit wider.
20,000 BTUs. And it's a little bit wider cooking
Is that the
surface.
one they discontinued, the Mountaineer? It kind of looks like the Cook Partner.
Honestly, I don't know what model he has. I just know that, my brother bought it as well, and they both like them. He could probably tell you more about it, but it seems to cook all the food I eat off of his thing,
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain when somebody else is cooking.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'll take it off of whatever you're
Man,
making.
these eggs are great, Dad. Thank you.
But
Absolutely.
I tend to always go for the Scottle. I mean, big cooking surface.
I've eaten some rad meals on Scottles.
When you got grease on it, you just tip it over. The only my generation, I don't have the adjustable legs, so it's a rock under a leg. So I got to reach out to Jerry and get a set of those. But the only other issue I have is the wind.
Well, they make those wind blockers, don't they?
Yeah,
Well, not for a Scottle though.
they do. It's got that
do
little
they?
square wind blocker that goes in with the burner.
Yeah.
But the wind still finds its way around.
Yeah, wind's a
You know
how it is, dude. There's no
Nothing's
wind.
perfect.
There's no wind, and then the minute you go to start cooking,
it's just when it gets up.
comes right through.
And if you set up a little blockade, all of a sudden it'll shift the other direction.
He actually, so for my folding go, he actually bought me on Amazon this little fold out little kind of like, what do you even call it?
Just like aluminum with little piano hinges and it folds
Yeah.
out into
Okay.
And it blocks it, but it's actually like this tall. So it blocks everything. It actually blocks it from even getting in the pan. So it keeps like your food warm. But yeah, I mean, that was like what, 12, 20 bucks.
super cheap, something,
something like that.
Yeah, so on my trailer on the outside, I like how a lot of trailers, it's cool that everything's attached and built in, but like you integrate your stove. Well, if it takes a crap, now you kind of got to disassemble, right?
Yeah.
So like I try to do certain things where if it needs to be replaced, you just replace it.
Yeah,
Like on the-
modular, yeah.
Yeah, so like on the outside of my trailer, I just did one of those rock slide tailgate for the Jeep, the tailgate tables.
Okay.
So now I can just put whatever
Yeah, fold it down when you need to and
exactly and fold it away.
Yeah. Well, I know Sam from Overland Rough Racks, he actually just came out with his whole like kitchen that
the
pulls
slide
out and
out
everything. It's
of the
slide
bed
out.
and-
It's pretty trick. It looks really nice.
I think I saw that at that expo thing.
Yeah, he was
Everything
in
was
there.
like wood stained, right?
yeah,
looks really nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
bamboo wood.
Yeah, I had like these little small gas lines going to like the stove and all that.
Yeah, all
clean.
tricked out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, those are, and the burners, you could like pull them out and put them where, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah. And you can hook up any type of fuel to it. And it was a rad.
The
little
other
thing.
option I was thinking where it doesn't classify for your need for real flame, but it helps the issue of wind. Did you see the trailer that had the Dometic electric stove?
Oh yeah, the flat top thing.
Like that's kind of cool
Yeah.
There's like an induction, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
because then you always can cook.
But then it's running off electricity.
True.
So if you got enough power, yeah, that's rad.
Call Tony, Adventure Power
He'll
Solutions.
hook you up. Yeah. Right.
I mean, I try to not bring a generator because like
Yeah.
that's just the buzzkill to it.
Yeah,
It's like when you see the electric car plugged into a generator, like, dude, you're kind of defeating the whole purpose there.
Well, we don't want to go down that road.
Oh, okay.
no.
I have a lot of opinions on that.
Oh, well, just so you know, there is a Bigfoot that's all battery, and I would never drive it. So,
Okay. Yeah. I looked at
Amazing
those-
torque, I bet, though.
Oh.
yes.
I looked at we're building out the camper and we were going to add a stove and all that kind of stuff. And I looked at like those induction little oven deals, but yeah, then it's just robbing all your juice and stuff like that. And I can carry more propane, and if I run out, I can get more. But
Yeah.
if I run out of electricity, I mean, I got plenty of solar now, but
That's one thing I'm learning. I got to try and figure out solar.
Call
Yeah,
our buddy Tony. He's in San Diego. He's amazing.
yeah,
That's like literally what he does. Adventure Power Solutions.
yeah, he put like 2 Sunflare 180 watt panels on the roof of our trailer or of our camper, and like it's crazy.
I just like the clean look. I don't want too much. Do you remember in the Home Alone movie when Harry puts his tape all over his hand and sticks it in the change? I don't want the outside of my trailer to look like that.
Like
Yeah.
somebody
Where
just threw
every-
up Overland
yeah.
on it. Yeah,
Hey, there's open space. Let's bolt something on there.
yeah, no.
The Wet Bandits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep it as clean as possible, sleek and stuff like that. Yeah, everything has its place kind of thing. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different options. I mean, like they have solar panels that are really thick. They also have ones that are like paper thin. It's
that's what
it's amazing.
Mine are like just adhesive applied versus being screwed down and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still offer good wattage, right?
Oh
Yeah. 180 watts for a panel
Each.
that's not even that big.
Yeah. I
Oh, okay.
two of them up there, so I'm getting 360, and that's more than I'm ever use.
And do you use the zero gravity batteries?
Yeah, zero gravity battery. Yeah. And like I think
Deep cycles.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Did you notice Jackery is being sold at Harbor Freight now?
Yeah.
you can get a Lowe's. Yeah.
You think that was a good move?
I mean, I don't know. Distribution wise, it gets you everywhere.
Yeah, but then you kind of get the vibe that it's Harbor Freight, so it's cheap.
But
Harbor Freight's got some
game
good
a little bit.
stuff.
They've they've went hard after like the overlanding and off-road community because they have that whole bad line. It used to be like a couple,
the Badland.
but now they got the whole line of it, and it's everything. So they're trying to step up and you notice not everything's really cheap at Harbor Freight anymore.
No, it's not. It's gone up. And they
Sometimes
don't
their
do the coupons.
tools are more expensive, or if not the same as like Husky.
Yeah.
Like I like Home Depot because I could tow you out using a wrench and bend that thing, make it look like a U-bolt, and Home Depot will let you get a new one.
Yeah.
So for me, it's all about like warranty.
Yeah.
Like, are you really going to back this up, or is there going to be some stupid fine print?
Yeah.
Well, you
What
know
is
what?
it,
Just
the Icon series at Harbor Freight? Is that what it's called? The Icon
Yeah,
series? Isn't
the
that
tools?
lifetime warranty on those though? I think they have like their
Or
your
to say
upper-
limited? Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it is a limited warranty. I don't know. I know they have
you can
their
buy
high end line.
Yeah, I think you can buy it. Like I have a bunch of Pittsburgh Pro tools. I
Yeah.
have
Oh,
Husky
Yeah, certain things
tools.
I will buy. Like
Yeah.
that, like pry bars and hammers.
those are the ones we take to the track. You don't take your Snap-on.
Yeah.
No.
those stay in
It
the
goes
garage.
MIA.
Yeah.
if it walks away, then it walks away.
Yeah, they don't mind.
And the other thing too is my brother actually taught me this is like, if you're out on the trail, you always bring like tools to the trail in case you break down or whatever. But if there's a guy there, you don't want to sit there and wait with him for 5 hours while he's fixing his rig. Like, here's your Pittsburgh Pro tools. Just like, have a good one, dude. I'm out of here.
Here, you can
And
have this
what is it,
ratchet. I'll get a new one. Yeah.
$30. You know what I mean? And then he's got his tools. He can keep them if he wants.
So on
Pay
that
it forward.
note, because maybe some of the listeners don't know, but so like one thing that I kind of took from the racing environment and moved it over to like overland trip prep is every time I'd work on my race car, every night, whatever tool I used, I'd put on a table. And at the end of the night, it took an extra 20 minutes, but I'd write down the tools I used. And then I didn't go to the track. I realized I was going to the track with crap I didn't even need to use.
Yeah. All these extra
So like
tools.
same thing like when I work on my trailer or my truck, like I write it down, and I'm not going to go if I don't need it. I don't need to take it with me throughout the
know which
lower
sockets you
48.
need and all that. I used to do that. I used to like have like a bag that was just of the tools that fit all the bolts or whatever on my vehicle. But then I would come into problems where I'm like in a group and like somebody else's vehicle breaks, and I'm like, damn, I wish I had that, that 14 now, or, something like that.
That's exactly what happened in Birds Canyon with that Subaru. Remember,
Oh, yeah.
you had your tools, but you're like, oh, I don't have a socket set. And I was like, well, I got my Craftsman set. So I went and got my socket set. And between the both of us, we had all the tools to fix this whole Subaru.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
So on this big trip, dude, we're in South Dakota, and these old ladies are stuck in the snow. And I think out of excitement, I brain farted because I went to like, dude, I'm going to tow them out. Dude, I have Max Tracks on my truck. Like I have a Demos shovel. Like I got all this stuff sponsored, and I forgot that I had it.
Yeah.
But like I was so stoked. I'm like, we got to help them. We got to help them.
It's my time to shine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Telling my daughter, take a picture, take a picture. I ain't getting this ram stuck. Yeah, we got him out.
Nice. That's
Good.
Didn't even have to dig her out. Like just shoved it in there underneath the tire and then just drove right out.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I've used them more. Actually, I've never had to get myself out. I just help other people.
Yeah. I mean, like half the time, that's why you carry the gear is to help your friends or help a bystander.
Yeah.
You know the little thing that kind of irks me though, and you probably see it too, is the people that leave their traction boards on their rig year round.
Oh, and this UV.
Oh yeah,
destroys
and you're like, dude, the minute you take that thing off, it's gonna
Crumble.
freaking crumble, and you're gonna hate yourself.
Yeah, I saw that a lot. Like people are getting stuck just recently because we had the big snowstorm, and the first time they're using them, they're throwing it out there, and they've been like so brittle from being out in the sun all the time, and then all of a sudden they're in the cold and they just shatter. They're like traction boards, just like toast. You know?
These were terrible. It's like, yeah, but it's been on your roof for 3 years.
Yeah.
You forgot you had, along with the axe that has more rust than the Titanic. You're like, yeah, you're gonna chop some wood down with that.
You're chopping a lot of trees out there, aren't you? Yeah. No.
That's why I have my chainsaw.
Yeah.
Hey, so you guys have all been in Oregon before, right?
I've been there, but not camping.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a lot? Is it true that there tends to be a lot of fallen trees?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, I think
Eric
ran into that issue. He carries a chainsaw.
Because I bought the Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's what he has. Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
have a DeWalt.
they all leak oil too.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
For electric chainsaw, yeah.
I have an electric chainsaw. It's the DeWalt. It's a 16-inch or whatever like that. And at first, I actually screwed up. I was like, I didn't even realize I had a little thing to put oil in it. I was like, God, it's electric. It doesn't need oil. I forgot. Oh, you got to like lube the chain and the gear, whatever. So anyways, then I ended up doing that. And every single one of those, doesn't matter if it's brand new, whatever, has a perfect O-ring on it. It leaks. It's all in the back of my truck. I have oil all in the back of my truck. And I got to like, I don't know, kitty litter.
Is there a resolution to it? Do you change out the O-ring? Or is everyone just screwed?
Put it in a case by itself.
Dude, Milwaukee's a weird case too. It's just a square case. It's like, it doesn't even look cool, but
yeah, come on, make it like
honestly, I just let it ride, man. Yeah. It's an old Chevy truck.
Yeah,
2021.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute,
2021 ZR2.
Yeah, the only other thing that was kind of like when we did our trip, you kind of learn again like what you need and don't need, but like things that you want to change. Dude, we all hated jumping in the bed of my truck to get boxes that weren't on the trailer.
Because I had the old Land Rover and I used that forever, and then we just bought the Tundra. And the first times we started using the Tundra, we just did we had a bed rack and a rooftop tent on it, and it was just bins in the bed of the truck. And every time we get to camp, we need to set up. I'm like, fuck, I got to get on my old ass knees and climb into the bed of the truck and pull all the bins out, and such a pain in the ass.
You just step on the tire. I mean, I have an alu cab on the back of my truck, and it has the gull wing type things, and you just open them up. And
well, I didn't have that.
I know you didn't even have that issue. Like yours was open. You can
because on the sides of the I had all the Mack tracks that I don't use.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he was getting his UV damage. Yeah. So his were all covered up. But like mine, I just open them up and then I just step on the tire and then I just pull things. But most of the things I can just reach from the back. Nice. Mine's not a full size like his though.
Okay.
So
yeah, no, I don't miss that. I mean, I only had to do that for a little while, but I don't miss having to do that.
Yeah. One thing I was trying to do, because I try to go outside the box. It's actually what started. I mean, your viewers can't see, but I've had a Mohawk for 5-6 years, and my son told me years back, Dad, those aren't popular. But like, I do all my own marketing, and I go to SEMA show, right? Well, there's thousands of other dudes that are pitching proposals.
Yeah.
Well, for me, if I stand out and then I follow up with a company, a couple weeks later, yeah, I'm the guy with the Mohawk. Then they already know exactly the conversation that we had. So it started out marketing, right? So one thing I've been trying, and I got a couple more months before we hit the road, but I've been trying to merge like my overland travel with my touring doing monster trucks. In the sense of if I'm driving, West Coast, I'm probably for the most part not going to fly, right? And so you might as well maximize going from point A to point B. And I feel like it also offers like a fresh demographic to some of these brands, right? And but yeah, right now I'm dead in the water with that.
I was gonna say, get your monster truck and put some little mini Max tracks on it.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was trying to do is we have
Overland monster truck, dude. That'd be rad.
We have
rooftop tent on it.
Yeah, we have receiver. I've tried that one.
Oh, really?
We almost went that route, but I'm like, you know what?
That'd be cool.
Sean from OVS takes care of me. I'll just do it anyway. But like, we have receiver hitches on the back and the front of the monster truck to slide in a hook if you got to be towed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I've been trying to get hitch fire on board. I'm like, dude, I'll put one in the back of the monster truck. Like, it probably won't survive because I'll stuff the back of the truck, but great marketing tool.
So what do you use? Okay, so really quick, I just thought of this. You said in case you need to pull somebody out or tow somebody.
No,
right?
if I'm getting towed.
Like if he breaks down, they got to drag him out of the track.
Yeah, but like, do you just have like a standard D ring or something? Like,
yeah, they just run it. Yeah, just a D ring or a push. It's a plate, and then they'll just take the dozer and put it up against the plate and then push the truck.
So we have some really good friends at 4122, and they make like the hitch slides. They also make the recovery things.
There's one right there. That red
There's
thing.
one right there.
Yeah.
That's like the hitch slide. It goes into your hitch receiver, and then it helps you like skid down off the rocks and whatnot. But
You gonna get them to send me one of these? This is pretty dope, dude.
Yeah, they have different
if you had that on the
versions of
monster
that.
truck, that'd
if
be
you
funny.
had that on the monster truck,
he would give you over that.
Hands down.
yeah, he would give you that, man.
I mean, I get people, they're like, dude. So like one of my hobbies that I enjoy is RC cars.
Oh, I love it too.
buddy.
All right. Well, I got 2,300 in a car, and out of pocket, I probably have maybe $400 or $600 in it. Dude, I go to the RC track, and you get these hardcore kids. Dude, my car, I can't drive for crap, but my car's got every bell and whistle on it, and they're just like, you know, you only have all that because you drive monster trucks. And I'm like, dude, you're right. I'm like, I'm sorry.
You're not
like,
wrong, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm humble about it because I met you at Expo, and I didn't. Hey, you know.
Yeah, I had no idea.
man.
Yeah.
I don't go to McDonald's and they're like, oh, you want a large fry? Oh, did you know I drive monster trucks?
Yeah, can I get my discount?
It's like your pickup line.
Yeah. But I mean, it is a unique thing because like when I was doing off road, like, dude, we're Southern California. Like everyone and their grandma like does off road.
Yeah.
For the most part, you can go out, spend 10 grand and be an off road racer. But when you tell people you drive monster trucks, it's like, well, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then they're way bigger than people ever anticipate in person.
Oh yeah, they're monsters.
Yeah. So I did back in 2017. I did a music video with Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner was there, and a rapper named Tyga.
Oh yeah.
Okay, dude, Tyga. When we weren't filming, dude, he was just in awe. Like,
He's like, I love monster trucks.
I want
yeah, I do some of these artists, I mean, it's really their producer that does it. I got some pretty good connections in Hollywood, but like a lot of it's just like they geek out about it, so they want an excuse to like be around it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I did.
He probably grew up watching monster trucks as a kid too, you know, on Saturday morning or whatever, and yeah.
Yep. Because it's and the thing is, like a lot of our fan base too is, believe it or not, I would say on average is probably like an 11 to 14-year-old girl.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yep. But you get a lot of like special needs kids.
Oh,
Yep.
that's cool.
And I think it's the draw that what draws them to it is it's bigger than life, like dinosaurs, you know?
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm about to have a kid. So
Congrats, man.
yeah.
My oldest is 17, almost 18.
Okay.
And my youngest is 11. It flies by quick, man.
Oh, I know. I have two daughters already. I'm about to have another one, but I have a 9 and a 12-year-old. Or she's turning 12 on Friday. But I'm about to have a boy, and he will be special needs as well.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to take him just to see you race some.
No, that'd be
trucks,
cool.
man.
When it gets closer, I'll let you guys know for sure. But yeah, I have a special spot in my heart because I believe that those that come into this world that aren't all there, I feel like they're being protected from God, from this evil world we live in, right?
That's
Oh,
rough.
100%, man. There's a lot of bad things, you know. And when we found out we were having a special needs kid, at first it hit me. It was like, oh, and then I'm like, wait, I've never seen a kid with Down syndrome not having a good time.
Always happy.
Always happy. Yep. And I was like, you know what? This will be a built-in camp buddy.
Yes.
This is gonna be a built-in monster truck buddy. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad I met you because, you know, sorry, I'm getting a little bit teared up.
No, it's fine, man. I'm holding them back over here.
Yeah, but like, I can't wait to take my son to go see monster trucks and just see him light
Experience that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
dude, it's hard. Like when I was on tour and I'm 23 shows in 8.5 weeks, you got a kid that shows up, it's their first show, right? And it's my 23rd show. I've been just auto mode, just doing the same thing, answering the same question. I got to be so excited to meet this kid and take a selfie or sign an autograph. Mm-hmm. Dude, it's not always easy.
Yeah, you can have a shit day. You know, you can have like your own personal problems, but you got to turn it off and then turn on the magic.
I mean, I was in Spain and there was a family. They drove all the way from Germany. Their kid had he just cut a mohawk because he saw on the internet that I had a mohawk.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And so I get that a lot, but it's just like, and that shows how much these kids pay attention.
they care.
That's so cool.
You are like this, like you said, bigger than life thing to them. They finally meet you. And, you know, like you said, like you could be having a bad day, but you know what? Like it means the world to them. Yep. So
And for that reason, it should mean the world to me.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had days where I'm sitting in the truck. They're getting ready to start turn the lights off and get all the spotlights going and whatnot and crank the music. And I'm just like, man, I really just want to be at home on my couch. Or I want to be out camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the phrase
work.
Yeah. The phrase, if you do what you love, you won't work a day in your life. Complete shit.
Total bullshit. Yeah.
You're always working, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I see the dudes racing Supercross. They're not always happy.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, and they're beat up. In fact, my next door neighbor, he used to race, and he's messed up from it. And he's had back surgeries, he's had leg surgeries. He's walking around with some sort of like brace on his
knees
ankle
are all
and
shot
everything.
out. Yeah.
I mean, man, he's like, oh, he's sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's true. You're not always gonna have a great time.
No. But like that's when you just pick a different adventure, because I almost considered going into retirement because I've been doing this for almost 20 years and my body's pretty much done for the most part. I was actually born with scoliosis.
Oh.
So it really doesn't help to keep
they
compressing
already-
your spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Hot Wheels called and I have an opportunity to travel the world, Australia has been mentioned in the near
that'd be cool.
future, China.
That'd be cool.
You should
South-
get you can rent overland vehicles in a lot of these places
Yeah.
you go to.
Yeah.
And you
Get that Toyota Hilux,
when
man.
you're done working on the weekend, go adventure. And
Watch
that's
out
like
for
the
those
perfect
huge
time.
camel spiders, though, or whatever they call them. These,
Everything in Australia wants to kill you, right?
Yeah.
Australia has some weird stuff, man.
Yeah. What's cool is for the most part, like when I was on tour, there were certain things that were already like set up for us to do. It was almost like a school field trip, dude. You showed up outside the hotel and the bus picked you up and it was all the other drivers and the crew and some of the
rad.
production. Like, I don't even care if Monster Jam's listening, but with them, you were a number,
You
man.
don't get none of that.
Yeah, I went to Puerto Rico for them. They fly you in when it's not convenient. They fly you out like, dude, the
Cheapest
show.
ticket they could get.
Yeah, you're all done. Go home.
Yeah.
But like we were in Scotland or Poland? No, Poland. And my next stop on tour was Spain. Well, we were supposed to fly out like on a Thursday. It was only Tuesday, or it was Monday. They're like, hey, we don't have a Friday night show, so we don't have to be there till Friday. If everyone's on board, we'll cancel your flights to Spain. We'll rent charter buses. We're only 2.5 hours from Venice, Italy. You guys we'll get you hotels on the water, and you have 24 hours to tour, and then we'll fly you to Spain.
That's cool.
No way.
So they called the production there, called corporate, which is Chicago, and said, hey, we got 40 people that are willing to just change it. Dude, the next morning we're downstairs, charter buses.
Everybody was on board with that, I'm sure. Yeah.
Within a few hours, man, I'm in Venice, Italy, dude, eating gelato. So it's like,
That's awesome.
happy employees are productive employees, right?
Yeah, it's 100% true, man.
Just get them a pizza party, everybody.
Well,
They don't need a raise. Yeah.
what's funny is you got 7 monster truck drivers over there not really excited to drive monster trucks. We're more like, dude,
What's
tonight
inside?
we got to go see this and tomorrow we got to go do that. We just got to that was the gateway to travel.
Yeah.
The low point of your whole trip is getting to jump in a monster truck.
Yeah. But the cool part, like a good friend of mine, he's a host of the show, Freddie. He brought some reality, dude. We were in Ontario, California, and sold out. I think there's 16,000 people there. But he's like, dude, did you realize that you represent Hot Wheels is like the top 5 most identifiable logo in the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Like in now the whole world.
I guess, yeah. They're
It's like Coca-Cola, Nike, McDonald's,
and
there's some
Hot
big
Wheels.
brands.
Yeah.
So
that
that
kind
the Flame, I mean, it's been around forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Iconic.
Dude, have you seen some of the old ones, what they're going for?
Oh, dude. There's
Oh,
money in these. Yeah.
So
I
I've,
know. I was like digging through. I'm like, do I got any of these hidden
right?
somewhere?
No, hey, but mine, believe it or not, this is the kid in me with a dream. Mine, I had the monster trucks and I'd take the Hot Wheels and hit them with a hammer. So it looks like they were crushed.
Oh, shit. So you could drive over them?
Yep. So that they're all cambered in and windshields busted out. Now they sell them with like the plastic thing.
Already, yeah.
Yeah.
But so Hot Wheels, their corporate office is in Chicago. I think I could be getting this wrong. Sorry, Mattel.
It's in El Segundo, isn't it? Like they have another one over there.
So when we did Ontario, all of the big wigs from Hot Wheels were there. So you're definitely sweating bullets.
Yeah.
But they have like some of the manufacturing facility in that area. And they're like, dude, we'll bring you in sometime and show you how they're made. And they have all like the classics that are there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I have a friend that used to be my neighbor. He was the Falcon tire guy. His name was Mark. And he was a huge Hot Wheel collector. His whole garage was just like Hot Wheels. And, you know, they were in these like glass cases and stuff. It was nuts. He in fact gave us some of these like, you know.
Oh, yeah. The Falcon ones and stuff.
The Falcon ones and stuff. And so it was really cool to see him because he's like an older guy, but he was like so into it. Hot Wheels actually has like a car show in El Segundo.
Tour of the Legends?
Is that something like that. Yeah. Is that every year?
Every year, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets out, and it kind of travels too. They end up at SEMA at some point.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember they travel around because we have another buddy who was on this show, Rory. And Rory, he actually invited me out last year to do it because I actually have a Mini Cooper that looks kind of like a Hot Wheels car.
Okay.
And so my goal is to actually like get to go to the, you know, Hot Wheels show.
No,
so
that'd be rad.
Show it there because I'll show it to you afterwards. But I named it Mini Caliente, and it's got like a roof rack and all that kind of stuff. So got these like rally style wheels. So
yeah,
it looks like a Hot Wheel car basically.
That's cool. Know? Yeah, I actually have Falcons on my truck right now.
That's good.
I had Toyos, and then they were back ordered. But I used to have
low supply for a while.
Yeah. Well, in 2015, I had them on board with my Pro Light, and then I built. 2018, I built a 1960 F100 for SEMA.
Oh, sick!
In 28 days from the day I bought it to the day it went in a trailer, and it had Falcons on it. So,
oh wow,
good tire. They're not loud. Like I hate loud tires.
I love my Falcons. Like I mean, that's pretty much all I have. So I have a Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws on my ZR2. I put those on immediately. And then on my Mini Cooper, I have the Falcon Wild Peak AT Trails. And I love those tires. And I was actually just zooming up the Ortega Highway, which has a lot of switchbacks and everything. I almost felt like I was on some Azenis, the street nice tire. Yeah, man, because those things handled great, even though I lost my alternator.
I get a kick out of the thousands of YouTube videos that are just tire reviews.
Oh, geez.
Oh, gosh.
And like so many of them was like kind of hard. Like somebody gives somebody a free set of tires and then they're giving you a review. It's hard to take it as an honest review. You know, like, oh, I love these whatever tires.
Who does that.
Yeah, a lot of there's a few that do that. Like, oh, these are the best tires ever. And as soon as their contract runs out, they're like, oh, these are trash. They throw them away. And like now it's like, so it's hard for me to take any of those.
I call those sticker sluts.
Yeah, like, 100%.
Dude, I turned down sponsors over the last 18 years. They offered me good money, but it's not about just throwing a sticker on and like, hey, run this product. You really got to believe in it, man. And you can see if someone's full of or not, right?
Yeah.
So I'm big on like, I mean, when I first started out, I kind of gravitated to whatever was thrown at me. But if you want to be taken serious, you got to play the game serious. Like when I got started, it was just a hobby and it turned into a career real quick. So that's when you kind of just, like for me, I mean, other than the hoodie I'm wearing right now, but like I don't wear something unless someone's paying me to wear it, like straight up.
Yeah.
And not necessarily paying me with money, but you know what I mean? It's like, I talked to a guy at track once and he's like, everyone wants me to help them with marketing. And one thing I learned with doing my own marketing is like, someone like Brian Deegan, who I am friends with, he's got a marketing girl named Ashley. She's the go-to. She's the middle person. You don't ever talk to Brian.
Yeah.
So when I started doing my own marketing, people gave me credit and appreciated that the one that's going to represent them is the one they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized
more personal.
Yeah. And I realized if you're at the Deegan level, maybe you just don't have the time but at least have an assistant to weed out the junk and then let me entertain the good ones.
You mean,
that's what my assistant does
on Instagram? All those people like asking me to model their jewelry for them and stuff. That's not real. I shouldn't accept those.
I get so many scams like that.
Or the supplement one.
Yeah. You'd be perfect representation for our. I'm like, have you seen me?
So recently I just got 2 new puppies or whatever, and I started like hashtagging like the different puppies or whatever, like golden doodles and whatever, because it's popular.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 golden doodles, and I have all these companies that are like, oh, you'd be a great ambassador.
Yeah.
Just here's a discount for our overpriced whatever.
Word, dude.
Oh my god, it's terrible. So,
Or they give you they offer you a discount, and it's like, dude, that's your Black Friday deal, bro.
Yup.
Now, this one company did actually give me a really good deal. It was like pack leashes or whatever, and they had a really cool combination for the collar and the leash. It was like this pizza. It was like a pepperoni pizza with the cheese dripping, and I bought it because it's the exact tattoo that Ali Ventura has on her ankle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
This is too perfect. I got to get this.
They match.
Well, you know that cheese is glue, right?
Oh,
Not
for
even
sure.
cheese.
It's got to be. It's overprocessed, you know.
They got me one time. So I have this picture collage thingy here on the wall, right?
Yeah.
And I was going to replace that, and I found this thing on Instagram. They hit me with this ad, and it was for this wooden mural with these, like they took these different colored woods and they cut them out and they placed them with the trees and the mountains, and it was basically the same size, like maybe like a 3 foot by 4 foot, piece of art. I'm like, this thing's rad, so I bought it, and then I got it in the mail, and this is it right here.
Oh wow.
This is what I got. And I opened the package, and it's like this little balsa wood. Looks like somebody
did it in their garage.
Yeah, put it on a printer and just printed it out. So I paid a bunch of money for this little thing, thinking I was getting this amazing handcrafted wood.
Nothing beats our old friend Alex.
Oh, dude.
I got to tell this story. So he was obsessed with he was living by the ocean, and he was like, I'm a surfer, I got to get out there. He's like, but he wanted to get one of those like boards that it's like a foil thing, and then it goes above the water and it's motorized.
Oh yeah,
I forgot what they call them, but it's like something that looks like it's at
like
least
a hydrofoil type thing.
Yeah,
where kind of lift up.
It's literally like $5,000 minimum there. Yeah. Okay. And he got this Instagram ad, and it said like only for $700, and so he bought it, and then it took forever, and it said, "Oh, your package is on its way." He was so excited. He opens it up, and he sends me a video on Instagram. It was the shittiest boogie board you've ever seen from China.
It was like a miniature one. I literally had it.
He has it.
I just threw it away just recently. Yeah,
it was the crappiest boogie board, and so we called it the bougie board.
Oh wow!
And he paid like $700.
Yeah, he paid $700 for this thing that looked worse than Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, you know how you get those like suggested ads? I just got one from China for $9,500. I can buy the Carp Expedition trailer. Like, dude, they don't even make them anymore.
Yeah.
How are you gonna pull one from China?
Oh, I'm sure they stole it. You can get
But like your little, but like your little sign.
Yeah.
If there's 5,000 people that buy that, dude just did really good.
Killing. Yeah, he's gone now. You can't find him now.
So I feel like because of stuff like that, there's some credibility not going to some of these reviews on products. Like, all right, you're getting paid to say it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's the same dude and they're like, okay, this is my 10th stove and this is my favorite. Like,
yeah, it's hard.
This is my 10th favorite stove.
Yeah. But I like when, like with Brad, like he'll straight up, he'll let you know if he got it sponsored or not.
Yeah.
And then he'll give his honest reviews, including the negatives. Because there's no product in any industry that is just
perfect,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the rule in advertising. If you get paid or get it free or whatever, it's a sponsored type of deal. You actually have to claim that it's a sponsored ad.
That's been recent the last couple years.
Yeah. We dealt with that a lot too. And so, I know that's a fact.
Because, but that's not fair either. Because like, even if it's paid, to me, the minute someone says, "Oh, I'm being paid to say this," you kind of throw it out.
You're throwing it out, yeah.
You're more so talking to your buddy and like, dude, what do you think of that you bought? Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Well, we recommend a lot of product, like the Fireside Outdoors you mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah, we don't get paid on that.
Yeah, like we don't really have any sponsors or anything like that. We've kind of got a few coming on board here now, but like it was always products that we actually used ourselves and we believed in, so we'll recommend it because this thing works, and I'll tell you the goods and the bads of it maybe, but like I'll give you an honest opinion on it, not because somebody's paying me or gave it to me for free. I bought it. We paid full price for all this shit, and I'll say it's good, you know.
So a couple episodes ago, we had a guy named Brandon Barberena, and he actually works for Liqui Moly.
Okay.
And it was funny because he was actually talking about it because he's he knows his mechanics, right? And he understands, and he's used a lot of different products.
They're oil, right?
Yeah.
Oil and whatnot.
It's
lubricants and
lubricants and additives and everything else. It's like super high end stuff from Germany. And he was talking about how anything they advertise in Germany, they actually has to go through like a system, and it actually has to do what you claim it does. And so he was actually saying, he's like, yeah, I just got hired on. I feel like it's kind of like snake oil. I don't know if I believe it or not. He's like, but you know what? I tried it out on my Gladiator. He's got a newer Gladiator.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I was kind of making this, like the lifters were giving some noise or whatever. And he's like, okay, well, I'll try some product because he gets, he's got a bunch of stuff to try out because he's like the sales rep. He's like, sure as shit, dude, it actually worked.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a believer now.
You have to link me up with them because right now, all the guys are over in Europe. They're wrapping up in Bulgaria right now. Mm-hmm. And I've actually enjoyed the time off because when my son turns 18, he's going to serve a mission for our church for 2 years.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
So as a good parent, like, dude, I'll trade it off, right? Like, monster trucks aren't going anywhere, but my son's just getting older.
Yeah.
But one of the head dudes, he's just spent $1,200 American dollars for 10 gallons of oil.
Whew. Whew.
So we've been looking for an oil
Liquid
brand.
Gold?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're a huge brand. I mean, they sponsor F1.
Yep.
They do the MotoGP.
Yeah, I know the brand for sure.
Yeah, no,
I think they just got into ORW. You can buy it at ORW.
Yeah, he just got into ORW. Yeah. We know the guys at ORW too, Jace over there. So, I'll after the show.
Oh, you know Jace?
Yeah.
He was on the show.
I've known him for years.
He was on a podcast a few episodes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, cool dude for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some really cool Jeeps, man. He's got that flat fender and everything.
And I love Greg Adler, the owner.
Okay, yeah.
So humble, man.
Yeah, they're cool.
Probably one of the only guys that I know that's shorter than me. But
calling him out.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'll connect you with Brandon. He's a really cool
good
dude.
People too. Yeah.
He's really good people. He's local, so
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah.
It's funny when you say local, when some people call me and they're like, I'm giving them a quote and they're like, yeah, I really want to keep it local. And I'm like, bro, you really don't have an option. It's like,
It's only so many.
this is public knowledge, so I don't mind saying it, but like Deaver Springs, the place I go to get my raw spring material, their springs are just sitting on a pallet. Like they're pre-made.
Oh, yeah.
That's why if you call Deaver and you're like, dude, I need a spring pack for my 21 Toyota Tacoma, they're okay, 8 to 10 weeks out. Well, yeah, because they got to order it.
Yeah.
You call me because you need custom springs. Even busy, you're looking at 6 to 8 days.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty quick lead time.
That's actually good to know for our listeners because all of our listeners, like they're getting their suspensions done. They're doing custom builds. They need custom tuning. I mean, you said your shop's where? In Escondido?
In Escondido, yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's local. We're talking about local. Local enough. I mean, I bought my truck in Escondido. So,
and I do a lot. So in that sense, like some people think they have to go with a complete spring replacement, right? And you really don't. So like today for Topo Terra Adventure Rentals, so his is a 2020 Tundra, I believe. Might be getting the year wrong, but same thing. And he's got the AU cap set up on it. He's got the max tracks and whatnot. So with his spring, what we're doing is your typical leaf spring is 2 stages. You got your main spring pack and you got the flat overload on the bottom. Mm-hmm. Well, the flat overloads suck. Like if you ever watched like Redneck, like Motorsports or like old tough truck stuff, you remember seeing the dude bucking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's because the spring is loading on that overload and the overload's sending all the energy back. So it bucks.
Shooting it.
And by the time that engages, your truck's already sitting with a Cali lift, which was cool in high school, but not when you're doing adventure travel, right?
Right.
So what I do, and this is, if you need new springs, I'll sell you new springs. But for the most part, 99% of the time, this is what it does for overland setup, is I'll eliminate that overload. And then according to your weight, I'll add 3 or 4 underneath it. And I'm not talking like the Icon mini pack where they send you with a ton of arch and you just throw them in and you're like, okay, that didn't do anything. It's the same thickness, same gauge as your spring pack, but it turns it into a single stage spring. So you have one consistent spring rate instead of bouncing off an overload. And that's what we did for Dead Man. It increases the payload, but it softens the ride because it's not bouncing on that overload.
Oh, that's good to know.
See, that's I think what my issue is. So I have a Icon leaf pack in the rear, but when I put the camper on the rear, I swapped out. I ended up putting. Well, I still have the Icons and the shocks, but I put in airbags.
Yeah.
Just for the weight.
Firestone airbags.
Firestone, yeah. The ride airbags or whatever they are. But now I get like, it's pretty smooth when I'm driving, but like if I'm like just driving down the road and I'll hit a bump, it almost feels like it had like a buck to it.
You want to know why?
Yeah. As a matter of fact. Yeah.
So you got the leaf spring that wants to deflect up and down, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got the airbag that's pushing against it.
It's fighting it.
So your leaf spring's wanting to move and the airbag's saying, no, don't move. So biggest thing I tell people, like even when the airbags are a day old, rarely do we ever leave them on. Rarely. But it's like, dude, rebuild the leaf spring and you don't need the airbag. And for the most part, like when people go, oh, well, if I add a lot of weight, I want to be able to lift it back up. Well, there's a certain window of weight where it's okay if it squats an inch. Like an inch, if you're squatting 3 inches, you don't have enough leaf spring.
Yeah.
If it's coming down an inch, I still wouldn't put on airbags. It's still going to ride better.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, I wouldn't be surprised if you take the air out of your airbags and look at the Icon springs and they're flat.
They
'Cause
are.
that's the thing too. Flat leaves, that shackle is all the way back. So there's no deflection. All you're getting is negative movement out of the leaf spring.
Well, yeah, because I have like the add a leaf pack or something like that. But I'm
Yeah,
like, I
that
don't wanna
little
add-
mini-
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
want to add that, And then I think I have like an extra leaf too. I can add in if I needed to. But I'm like, so I'm like, everybody, all the forums, for 4-wheel camper kind of stuff. They're like, oh, you got to go airbags.
The internet.
Well, you gotta
is
get
never
it
wrong.
If you call, yeah.
So I
So
want the adjustability. I'm like, okay, so if I pull the camper off, now I got no weight in the bed, and I didn't want to be all stink bug. You know what I mean? Like we were saying, like, so I'm like, oh, the airbags, I'll just dump the air, and I could ride just on the shocks and whatever. But
yeah, single stage in the spring helps it so that if you do take camper off, it's not looking like a landscaper.
yeah,
But yeah, we do. I'm just being honest, man.
true, dude.
Or an avocado company where you're putting you got the forks on the back to carry the bin.
yep.
But have you heard of Pop Top Overland out of San Diego?
Yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah, yeah, they're cool.
I probably get 10 jobs a month from them, if not more. Like just when I went to the expo right before I saw you,
Yeah, they were there.
yeah, they're like, dude, it was the first day. He's like, dude, I've been here for 2 hours and I've already given 6 people your card.
Nice.
Like straight up, because that's a thing. People will spend $3,500, dude, on crap
Yeah.
that doesn't work. But then when I say, hey, $2,000 to rework the rear spring, they don't want to spend it. And a lot of times it's because, wait, you're going to reuse my leaf spring?
Right.
Because how many times have you opened up a lift kit, you install it, and you got so much leftover crap?
Yeah.
Like the human brain, when you spend money, is you want to see a lot of stuff, right?
yeah.
It comes with stickers, man.
Yeah.
I want to have a cool sticker come with all my shit.
But
for
like
that
if you
$5,000.
if you came into my shop and you're like, dude, I'm persistent. I want a custom set of springs made for my truck. You're looking around $2,800.
Yeah.
And again, people go, whoa. What about old man emu or Deaver?
ugh.
Dude, you're talking about something that's just off the shelf for everybody's setup,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
The same spring that they
My
put.
setup's gonna be different than your setup, but we both have Tundras, but we have different weight requirements or something. Yeah.
And all those leaves are important deflection points. Like if we do a drag car the front side of the leaf springs, all the leaves are almost the same length. And where the back side is tapered with big gaps. Because all the movement's in the back and you're treating the front of the leaf spring like a traction bar so you don't get axle wrap.
Yep.
But like for you, they'll be like, oh, you got a camper? Here's the same spring
It's a
that
generic, yeah.
that Joe Blow uses with fiberglass bedsides and 2 tires. Like, dude, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And that's why we're not this big nationwide company I ship all over, but that's why we're not a big production like
Just
company.
cranking them out because it's all custom.
Yeah.
It's all one off.
I can imagine how many times they get calls from Icon or Deaver, FabTech, all of those companies with problems with their leaf spring, and they just say, "Oh, pull a leaf out." Well, dude, you just ruined the integrity of the spring.
Yeah.
So I love talking about it, not only because it's all I do, but like it's kind of there's this movement with like leaf springs are old technology, and that 4 links and coilovers are the thing. Dude, I will take a leaf spring vehicle, even with off road racing. So my first Pro Light was a first gen. It wasn't 4 linked; it was leaf spring with 12 inches of travel. And I don't know if you ever went to the Lake Elsinore track.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, they had that jump called Mammoth, like 120. Dude, I could launch that sucker at 65 miles an hour and not spill my water. And we're talking, I'm landing on leaf springs.
Smooth, yeah.
So I tell people it's not about how much travel you have. It's about how it's set up.
Yeah.
If it's set up right, you can do a lot with 8 to 10 inches.
That's
But
what
like,
she said.
yeah. Hey, I'd be a happy man with that, bro. If my kids are listening, it wasn't me that said that.
That was me.
That was Jared. That was Jared. Yeah.
But crap, you totally distracted me. But like,
That's what she said.
You can do a lot with 10 inch.
I saw it and I got distracted. But like, so since we're so close to Baja, not only do we get like the chase trucks, but we get like the bros that want to go surf with their 4-wheel camper and they're down there for months, right? Well, with leaf springs too, like they're so like you can break them and you're still gonna get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can break 3-4 leaves, and I've seen people come to my shop. I'm like, dude, how the hell did you make it here? They made it, right?
Yeah.
But you break a coilover on a 4-link setup, you're done.
Yeah, you're limping that fucker. You're driving in circles because
I mean, at least leaf springs, you can shove a 4x4 piece of wood in there, right?
You could.
Some baling wire, and you're good to go.
get a C-clamp on there, you're good.
Vice grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one time back when National was around.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about National. Yeah.
In the 4x4 magazine, they like did a feature thing on how they do them. And my dad called him and he's all, dude, you guys are dumb. Like you're showing people how you put food on the table, because it really is a lost art. Like the anvil I use is custom made. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like with torch and grinders made, because it's not just a normal anvil, because we arch them by hand and we de-arch them by hand, which is another reason why like a Chinese spring, I won't mention, they're pretty much,
brand,
dude, if you can buy it from a Summit catalog, dude, it's China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the material's tempered, and when you hit it with that sledgehammer, you
Shatter it, right?
No. So if I have like a 60-inch leaf spring and I'm hitting the end of it with a sledgehammer, I can feel the energy go all the way to my hand.
Just transferring.
Because
through,
I'm shock pinging it. It's transferring the energy, so I can reset the memory. Where if I take that same leaf and put it in a machine and just bend it, and then I jump on both of them, the one I arched with the hammer and an anvil will maintain its arch. The other one that was machine done will lay flat.
Really?
So that's why a lot of people take their China springs, put them in their rig. They're good for like 3-4 trips, or let's just say if they're lucky a year. But over time, dude, they just go
Start to
flat.
sag. Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times when I re-arch them, I'm like, dude, I can't guarantee it, man. My steel comes from the US of A,
All right.
and it's made with 2 hands.
That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Like one of these times, you guys will have to see my trailer. Like it's pretty gnarly for a trailer. I need to put shocks on it because it's got that much movement, but I just got to have time, right?
Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah.
And then on our roads and on our freeways, you hit a pothole. It'll do one bounce and settle, but still, I'm just like, but then shocks look cool. Like it goes back to the fact that we do things because they look cool.
Yeah, of course.
Human nature.
It's America.
Yeah, that's why we.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come down there because I definitely need some. I gotta work out my issues. I didn't know what it was. I was gonna drive up to Icon here in like a week or so and try and see if I can get them to square it away. I got a leaky shock. I got all kinds of issues. You don't rebuild shocks, do you?
Yeah, no, I do that too.
Oh, you do? Well,
I do it kind of as a side. I do it at my house only because there's so much dust in the shop.
Oh yeah, you got to take it all apart. And then,
Yeah, and when you got all the shims laid out, like if you're distracted, you'll just. The other day I had a shock apart and the table got bumped and they all fell, and I'm just like, fuck. And and the shock stuff really is like on the DL. Like I'm really good friends with I'm in a total brain fart, but with Down South Motorsports.
Oh, okay.
And he'll help me out on things because he's like, all right, like there's enough bread to feed everybody.
Yeah.
And it kind of started out with me just doing my own stuff. And then I had people bringing me stuff and they're like, dude, I want it softer or it just needs to be serviced. So like now I try to sell everybody at least a smooth body Fox because it can be serviceable. But dude, nowadays it seems like I get customers that just buy a whole new shock.
Yeah.
Because it's $100 and rebuild a smooth body and you can buy a new one. I mean, for $200, but to me, it's still like $100.
Yeah, I'll save the $100.
Yeah, especially if you're doing all four corners, right?
Yeah,
That's $400.
Yeah,
but even on YouTube,
yeah.
like YouTube's go to YouTube and learn how to fix it.
Hey, I'm a YouTube mechanic.
Hey,
certified.
I'm YouTube certified.
I think I heard that one the other day. I did my homework before coming on here.
All right.
YouTube certified mechanic.
That's right.
You get certified for anything on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
I know. What's cool is like my kids have all had the same 5th grade teacher, and it wasn't curriculum, but he taught them like how to find solutions using the internet, especially YouTube. 90% of the times when the kids are like, Dad, this broke, like they could have figured it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool to see the kids like, Dad, look what I did because I watched YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Not just I'm watching other people play video games or shit like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Unboxing videos. Oh, God. No,
Or watching people eat. You're like, you're watching them eat food while you go eat.
Yeah, just go to a restaurant.
Just
Look
go
at
do
this.
it.
Go to some
Yeah.
people watching. Yeah. No, I need to actually replace. I kind of mentioned this before. My Mini Cooper, the alternator died this past weekend. I was going to South OC Cars and Coffee, and I was going to go over the Ortega, and my alternator just went out, and so I lost power steering, brakes, like all this stuff. It was pretty scary. Yeah, and then my dog was like throwing up in my lap at the same time. It was a great day. But I made it home, and I need to replace the alternator on Mini Cooper now. And so I was watching YouTube videos like, how hard is this?
yeah.
So
I'm a believer. Worst case, you're paying someone to do it.
Yeah.
So at least
I'll
try it, right?
it first myself. Yeah.
screw it up, then professional will come along and be like, you're an idiot.
There's
Here you go.
there's a line where you're going to cost yourself more money, and so just don't cross over that line.
It's an alternator.
Cut your losses and just take it to somebody who knows what
I
they're
get
fucking doing.
I get people in my shop where they're like, yeah, my friend's a fabricator, and I'm like, dude, I gotta spend 8 hours undoing what they did, and then start doing.
Yeah.
Way too many people watch Discovery Channel. Like,
Yeah.
I had a guy bring me a 76 Blazer, and he had I don't even know what kind of diesel it was, but it was out of a bus. Like, we're talking 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. It's like, dude, you're washing way too much welder up. You laugh, but like, so
Oh, no doubt. No, I believe it 100%.
in the monster truck world, like I've gotten to know all those people. Like when I'd go party at SEMA, they do a celebrity party over at the Welder Up shop with Steve Darnell. That's where I started meeting like Diesel Brothers. I'm good friends with
cool.
Diesel Dave.
yeah.
So it's kind of cool to like, I know we're all over the map in conversation, but like one thing I'm known for in my industry is like, I get the DMs that are annoying, but like for the most part, like I'll answer back. Like I'll reply, I'll answer your question, and I'm known for interacting. Because dude, I'll be 40, so 35 years ago, dude, I was a kid that's like, hey, that's what I want to do.
You were that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I get it. They could be the generation when I'm 70. And so you got to give them time. And it just sucks when you read tabloids or whatever, and you hear about people being total douchebags when they're approached by fans. Like there's a time and a place. Like I've been at In-N-Out in Carlsbad, Tony Hawk's there eating. Dude, there's like 13 people like surrounding this table. Like, dude,
Leave them be for a minute.
yeah, leave them be. Like I've been bugged at restaurants before, but it's just quick. You still got to respect it.
Yeah, I don't ever want to be. I'll see somebody, I'm like, oh, start fanboying or something like that. I'm like, oh, and like, I don't want to be that guy coming over and like talking to him. Like, I'm just gonna let him. He's enjoying himself out here doing whatever the heck we're doing, and like, I don't want.
Well, that day Brad
his
came
time.
by the shop. Like I was out getting parts, and I come up, and my dad's out talking to him. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, like that's Trail Recon. I watch his stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So I was like total like
You were fanboy.
fanboy right there.
I've been there.
And it was funny because I'm like, dude, Dad, I watch his
probably
videos
had no
on YouTube.
idea.
He's pretty big. I'm all, whatever he wants, just do it for free.
Yeah,
And Brad's all, no, dude, I'll pay. I'm like, no, like, he ended up paying. It's funny because he talked about suspension on one of his follow-up videos, and he just talked about using a local shop.
Yeah, I think I saw that, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, all right. That was you. Okay,
Yeah, the minute I saw it, I'm like, well, first I saw it was at the upholstery shop that made my 6-inch mattress earlier.
Yeah.
They did the upholstery on his. It's kind of cool because, like, you know, it's in every industry, but like in our little like neighborhood type area, dude, there's an axle shop, and there's us, and there's the dude that's got the tire shop that loves cash, that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Love that
hit
guy.
one and kind of just,
Lalo's tire shop.
Yeah. You're one step. Yeah, hit them all. And, yeah, you got everything in close.
but like that's where the trust comes in, and like how we're talking about like the credibility with like, hey, I'm getting paid to say this. Like, I 10 times over will go to somebody that I need because they're recommended versus how good their website was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if someone can trust them, like I had a roofer at my shop yesterday, don't even know his name, but he came recommended because we had some leaks in the corners of our office.
This guy might need.
Yeah, I might need to talk to you about that.
Okay. But like, dude, he's been doing my buddy's roofs for like 20 years, so I didn't question anything.
Yeah.
He just came in. He's like, "Hey, it's $400." I'm like, I went up, saw what he did because like we had patched it so many times over the years that it wasn't draining towards the
Band-Aids on
drain.
it. Yeah.
But like that's the thing, and I feel like there's not much trust in society these days. So when you find it, you stick with it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, loyalty. I mean, yeah, if I got somebody who I know I can trust with something, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use you every time for whatever purpose I need. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first met you, I'm thought, dude, Duck Dynasty's here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
straight up, man.
Yeah, I used to have a beard too, like a real big one, but you know, not as big as his now. So
I try to get rid of mine because, like in my game, we try to look younger. Like when the hair's cut fresh, the gray's gone because of the mohawk, facial hair. It's got to go.
Yeah.
I even dye it too.
Oh yeah, when I used to be clean shaven when I had a corporate job and stuff like that. I had short hair and clean cut and all that, and I looked 10 years younger.
Now
I looked like an old man. Yeah, I just look like a homeless old man, and whatever.
Well, at least with the beard, now you have the option to rewind it. You're like, Botox? I don't need that. I just need to go shave.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, don't worry, I'll knock 10 years off real quick. Hold on.
I mean,
no,
if I don't,
he needs to keep the beard. It hides the wrinkles underneath.
oh, gotcha.
Now it's actually
I just have to not smile and the wrinkles aren't there. Like that, I'll agree with Kim Kardashian. She doesn't smile because of the wrinkles.
Is that her excuse?
But if you have wrinkles, you're happy, right?
Oh, you know
I'm
what?
actually super happy because I got wrinkles for days. Those crow's feet coming off the bat.
Or you've been crying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy can be too.
There's this one girl I follow on Instagram, and she does like all these remakes of the Kim Kardashian, the whole Kardashians show or whatever. And the whole time she's like, "Oh my God, Kim," and and like her face never moves,
frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably why right there.
Yeah.
So
Guys can't stay young. Don't want to age.
pro tip from the average
tip,
Overlanders.
It's inevitable. We're always going to age.
Yeah. Well, you want to got any more questions for Mr. Monster Truck here?
I mean, I know we covered a lot. We were all over the place covering a bunch of stuff. Where you said you're going Pacific Northwest next?
Yeah, which AKA Oregon.
Yeah.
Like on that one trip we did, we covered a lot, but we just kind of want to go slower.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. You almost do your scouting trip, see all the stuff, like get ideas like, okay, I want to go back here now.
We can probably connect him with As Is Overland because he actually has some.
He's got some rad drop points.
Some real rad drop points in
We're
Oregon.
definitely wanting to do some fishing. Like if you can get me near water and not other people, I will be in.
Yeah, and he's all about that, getting away from people. So yeah. Even like Chateau, they were dropping me some pins for Oregon and stuff, but they were more of the coastal stuff. But yeah.
Hey, so quick thought here. So like I know when I was getting into the overlanding and kind of seeing what it's all about, like over in Australia, it's lifestyle for them. Mm-hmm. Over here, it's kind of been a new thing and kind of, at least in California, pavement princess, right?
Yeah.
So like, and YouTube tends to just all be the same, dude. Like all just showing product. It's all tire. Like, where do you see this in like 10 years?
Overlanding?
Yeah, you see it fading out.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, it'll fade out, I think, but I think it'll just weed out like some of the people who are just in it for the, some people are now wanting to get outside and now things are opening up. You can go to sporting events and all these other things. So they're like, well, I don't need to do this anymore. So they're going back to, doing all that.
They were spending all their money on their rigs when there was nothing else open, like you're saying.
Yeah, true.
And now they have other options.
That too, yeah.
And then you have the people who did it just for the clout, almost like, they put all the stuff and like to show off, like, look at my truck. I got all the
There's
cool.
a certain female that does that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff on my truck and I look rad.
My rap sponsor does. He's trying to sell his Ram.
Yeah.
Dude, his list is like if they made it, he's got it, and at the end it literally says never been off road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
And he used the 10 on his property.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a portion who are actually like, I love it. I mean, I'm not going to stop doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I like it for the adventure of it. So, there will be I think it will weed out a lot of the, people who weren't really into it. They're kind of half-hearted into it and stuff like that.
Which is just better for us,
which
right?
is better because it'll open up more of the land and stuff like that.
A lot of
it won't be as
well,
trashed.
A lot of the people I see coming to my shop, they either were unfortunate to survive their job,
Yeah.
and or they're just over California. But like, I feel like COVID was kind of a wake up call for a lot of people on where they place their importance, right?
Yeah.
And when I spent 2 months in Europe, a lot of it really looks the same. Starts to be all castles, all cathedrals. The roads look the same. The building. Compare it to the United States, like there's so much diversity in scenery going state from state from state. So like I see authentic people that are really doing a complete, it's not their weekend getaway. Like it's their whole figured out life reset, of the limitations of a house, right? Because like home really is where the heart is, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get like emotional on this, but like family is everything. And so many people, whether it was COVID related or just other health issues or even car accidents, like life is short. We're not promised tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And so like you're just getting more genuine people out there. But I feel like it'll be good for the tree huggers per se, because like a lot of the trash that you see on the trails and a lot of the disrespect comes from the people, like you said, they're just going to fade out.
Yeah.
Like now that they can go to the movies and football games, like all their gear's just sitting in their garage. Where like I grew up as a kid camping and it was minimal.
Yeah.
So this is just like a fancier way to do it. But the biggest take that I get is like, I love the fact that we can decide as a family, like 10 minutes before I get off work, like, hey, we want to go out this weekend. All I got to do is turn the fridge on, throw some stuff in it, hook up, and boom, go.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
And we did that all the time. I mean, that's we were gone every weekend. Every weekend.
Yeah.
We saw so much cool stuff around Southern California. I mean, because we kind of kept it local. We went on some longer trips, but for me, I think it's going to evolve. And like you said, it's going to weed it out. But I think it's going to, for me, it was therapeutic. And when my dog passed away in last May, I was having a rough time. And the only thing that could heal me, I think I even posted on my Instagram, the only thing that'll heal me is, getting out in nature. And now that I haven't had the same amount of time that I used to have, it's really hard on me. And I'm really looking forward to this next trip, going out to Expo West. My old I grew up in Arizona, my old stomping grounds. I get to see my dad. He's going to come up Friday night. So for me, it's very therapeutic and it's needed. So for me, it's not going away. It has changed just because of time, but I'm looking forward to my new camping buddy. I was just telling you about
the pup,
my daughters, and my new kid too. Eventually,
it's all perspective, man. Because like when you get home after a trip on the trail, it's still the same crap. Like you turn the TV on, it's still the same problems, but it's you that changed.
Yeah,
right. Happiness is something I tell my kids, like you got to choose to be happy every single day. I tell my youth group, like you got to choose every day that you're going to do what's right and be obedient to the guy upstairs, right? Because I mean, you're for the most part you're in charge of your own destiny. Like anything's possible. Yeah. So like when I was riding Harleys, like I had a friend of mine that rode a Yamaha. Like, dude, can I ride with you? Like, dude, we don't discriminate. Like at the end, we're all riding.
Yeah.
Like if someone wants to go follow me up in their Honda Civic, dude, and crash in the bed of my truck, like, dude, let's get out.
Yeah.
Because then that can spark something else. But I hope it kind of dies off and everyone, the gyms did the same thing, or the hiking trails. They were just bombarded because it became became a fad. And then you tie social media into that. Like, they're not even doing it for
the experience.
They're just doing it for that picture.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Venice, Italy, there's just a stupid bridge with water like every 5 feet. Well, there was a specific one that was popular on Instagram. Dude, there's like a line of like 40 people.
Yeah.
Just to get
like the Four Corners, in the Four Corners State connection. You know, there's a whole thing. There's like a line of people just trying to get a picture of just the Four Corners. It's like, it's cool. But,
and then when they get home, they got to look at their Instagram to see what they just did.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually enjoy it. Well, like Horseshoe Bend used to be like that. You could just drive out there and enjoy it. But there's so many people who started flooding it. Now it's like they had to gate it off and they had to like, you gotta wait your turn, walk up or something.
Eric just went there this past weekend.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah, my buddy Eric just started like, quote unquote overlanding. He's got a Subaru Outback, the new Wilderness Edition. He put some GR40s on there from Flat Out.
Nice.
Yeah, and so and then he put on a roof nest tent, and he went out, and that was the first time he actually used his tent. I was like, oh, how was it? He's like, man, it was a blast. He's like being out there and then waking up to these views of the Grand Canyon and everything. He was like, it was amazing. It's about just getting out and experiencing it. And a lot of people just do it for the Instagram, doing it for the videos. My favorite thing is like when you're going to like some event, right? Instead of actually looking at it and seeing the monster truck do whatever it does or whatever, people are out there with their phone. They're looking at it through their screen.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could have done that at home on YouTube because it's going to be the same view.
Yes.
Why don't you just put your phone down and experience what's happening in front of you and see with your own eyes? Like the same thing going out in nature. See it for yourself. Take a picture so you remember it or whatever, but like don't sit there and just video
The whole
everything.
time, yeah.
And half the time the pictures don't do it justice.
Oh,
never
they don't.
does.
They're just
Or it's overdone,
one-dimensional.
dude. Everyone's putting filters on everything. So you go places and you're like,
Not actually what you saw.
yeah.
like on with the filters, like I tell my daughters, like, don't do the filters because when you start dating, like that's false advertisement.
I just sent you that meme the other day. We sent each other memes about that all the time. Yeah, it's like they're lying. It's not. Yeah,
A 4 will look like a 10 with enough filters.
Easy, yeah.
or they call it makeup, but I call it fake up.
Yeah.
Because it's like it makes them look a completely different person.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's the society we live in, man.
Yeah.
No, it's been a blast to be here for sure. Like I feel like I've gained 2 friends from that.
Absolutely, man.
And it's just conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm super. There's a time at my shop where it's like, dude, I got to end conversation. Yeah. But like you get to know people, you get to share stuff, you learn, and you got a purpose to meet up again and do stuff together.
Well, we got to meet up on the trail, man.
For sure.
I want to see this trailer. I want to go out and see some good stuff.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
let
definitely.
us know when you want to go out.
Yeah, after I get my jet boiled Genesis.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. You
Right
can
on.
cook us some
I know
meals
what
on
we're
it.
cooking on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if our timelines will cross when we're in Oregon and stuff. Maybe we'll try and link up there or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be rad. And then I'm probably gonna down at your shop here in the near future just to get my shit worked out, figured out, and then check out the trailer as well. And then whenever the monster truck show is in town, you gotta let us know because
West Coast tour starts in August.
Okay, rad.
Okay.
Give us some time.
Either
to figure it
watch
out.
me on social media, but I'll probably shoot you a link and let you know.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah, I
like to
wanna
go
take
there
my
in
girls
person.
to that
yeah,
too,
I'll
yeah.
bring Zoe. She'll have a blast at that. She loves it. So,
Well, you want to get into some plugs then?
Yeah. So our little plugs here. What's your social media then? Where do you
It's Jonathan _Elkins _
on the gram?
super simple. Yeah. And I know there's a ton of ways to spell Jonathan. So it's JONATHAN and then ELKINS.
Okay, cool.
Or if you look up hashtag Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live, I'm probably a majority of the pictures.
He's got a mohawk, guys.
Yeah, I got
Look for the
mohawk.
dude with the mohawk. Yeah.
No gray hair though.
No.
Just
No,
a
no,
mohawk.
no.
Yeah.
I'll have it cut by the time they see me.
He'll trim all that off. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, thanks for coming on, Jared. What do you got today for us?
Oh, plug-in wise, I obviously want to shout out Rigs and Brews because that's coming up on the 23rd.
Dude, next weekend.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. I can't wait.
I
That's
gotta
down
fix the alternator.
Yeah, I mean it's down in Miramar at Duckfoot Brewery. It's always a fun time hanging out. A lot of the fun vendors. Pop Top Overland, I think, is going to be there.
Never been there.
You got to come down.
I saw the brewery, but I didn't see an address. I'm like, where is this?
It's Duckfoot Brewing. So if you're available, you should come down.
If you're on Miramar Road, you know where that pyramid is?
Yes.
It's like right behind the pyramid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
The Ashley Furniture Pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it used to be. I think it even used to be the hub for Uber when they were starting out, and I did a bunch of work in that building. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, it's a blast, and it's like there's so many cool people, cool vendors. It's a lot of fun. So we'll be hanging out there.
Yeah. The cool thing about Rigs and Brews is it's more about the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
The community
it's the community that's like real tight. So
yeah,
really good people.
Yeah. It's always a good time. And then I got a shout out. I got to shout out.
I was waiting for it.
All right, yeah. So our buddy Norm, he's been on the podcast a few times. Land Beaver, what up?
What up?
He stopped by and brought us some beers the other day. He's like, dude, I found this great beer. You got to try it. So, Two Hearted IPA. That's an American IPA out of Comstock, Minnesota. Yeah, but yeah. We appreciate it. We're drinking these right now, Norm, so shout out.
Yeah, thanks, Norm. And you know how we opened them, by the way?
Oh, yeah. How's that been?
Oh, well, I stopped by 4122 today.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, man, I got something for you. And he's kind of like prototyping out some things or whatever. But he has this bottle opener that looks like a shark. And he hasn't named it yet. Yeah. But I proposed a couple names or whatever, but we actually don't drink bottled beer
that often.
And Norm brought us by this bottled beer
that we had.
And then all of a sudden today, Nepo at 4122 gave us this bottle opener. I was like, it was destiny.
It was meant to be.
and you know, I will say that bottle opener was really clean and smooth.
Quick work of those bottle tops.
It did. You know, because sometimes the bottle opener is like, it's like not grabbing it right or whatever. No, it was perfect. So shout out to 4122 for that one.
Thank you. Came in handy.
But we also wanted to talk about really quick. Sorry to keep you late here.
No worries.
Real quick, we are actually going to be coming up on our 100th episode here.
Yeah. May 5th. Cinco de Mayo will be our 100th episode.
Yeah, that's a Friday because they always drop on Fridays. But we're going to be releasing a couple things, more to come in the future weeks. But we have some great sponsors on board that we're going to be doing a giveaway for.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of plug this real quick. So check out our Instagram.
Coming soon. Yeah, we'll start posting up some of the prizes that they're giving us for the giveaway and stuff like that. And we'll figure out on our 100th episode, we'll kind of announce the winner, and we'll figure out how the entry and all that kind of fun stuff. But,
I mean, it's not going to cost you anything.
No.
It's more about just
appreciation for people sticking with us for 100 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who wants to listen to us for 100 episodes, but I mean,
with California traffic, it's easy.
Yeah, I know,
that's
right?
true. That's true.
I start an episode going to work, and then I finish it coming home.
Exactly.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. So for a fact, 4122, they hooked us up with some products, so be on the lookout for that. So
yeah.
I mean, who doesn't need some by them?
Yep. So yeah, we'll have some other products too, and we'll announce those as well as we go. But yeah.
So that's my plug.
All right. Anything else we were forgetting? I thought we were supposed to mention somebody else this week. I forgot.
We'll catch them on the next one, right?
Catch them on the next one. All right. Well, with that, I guess we're gonna sign off. Jonathan, once again,
thank you.
Awesome, fun hanging out, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
And everybody else, thank you for hanging out with us once again, and we'll hang out and catch you on another one.